test in America? Toyota said, build them here, too. You know what? Most are. But the ultimate test is right here. Toyota 100,000-mile stories, over 60,000 of them, and more coming every day. Toyota trucks, the reliability's built in. Toyota trucks. You just gotta love them.
This has been TBS Newswatch. Tonight, from a land of scarcity comes an amazing discovery. A 400-year-old Spanish galleon loaded with New World riches. Cuba's lost treasure on National Geographic Explorer. Tonight at 9 Eastern, exclusively on TBS. The following is a presentation of TBS Sports.
This was yesterday at the Busch Grand National. It wasn't pretty. A record 12 cautions. Over half the field couldn't finish. 16 cars involved in wrecks. And these are the cars they say are stable. What a backdrop for the race that could decide the 1993 Winston Cup Championship. A real showdown at Charlotte. A bell ringer of a day here in North Carolina and a race to match at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. It's the 34th annual $1 Million Mellow Yellow 500. As usual, every seat has been sold out for weeks. As usual, it promises to be a great competitive event. 4 events left on the 1993 Winston Cup Series, but this is the one that could be the fulcrum, the balance point to decide the national championship. Hello, everyone. I'm Ken Squire with Neil Bonnet, and you can't say enough about A, what this race means, and B, what it's going to be.
I tell you, Ken, NASCAR has made several major changes to these race cars coming into this race. We've got to see how that plays out. Then you have the points battle, which is just that. It is a tremendous battle. This race can be very pivotal who ends up winning the championship. We've got a lot of things on the line today.
There are a lot of surprises to be dealt with today. One is the pole sitter. Let's go to Dr. Dick Berggren.
I'm with rookie sensation Jeff Gordon, who has won his first ever career pole for this race at Charlotte. He's got no wins in 1994, but he's got a pair of seconds. One of them right here in the spring. Jeff, your crew chief, says this is your racetrack, the one you're best suited for. Is today your day?
Well, it can be. If we make all the right things happen, so far it's been a perfect week for us. And, we got to have good pit stops, got to stay out of trouble. And if we could do all those things, it could be our day. But we're just going to have to wait to see.
Working with me on pit road today is Johnny Hayes. John?
Ernie, you've had a great year. You've jumped in this car. You're qualifying up front. You've won a race. What do you think's going to happen today?
Well, I tell you, this Texaco Havoline Ford Thunderbird has drove great since we got here on Wednesday, and outside pole was a pretty good run, but it's not what we're here for. We're here to win, and we're worried about winning that last lap, and that's what it's going to pay for, to bring it home for all these guys who work so hard.
They've done a great job. Let's throw it to Rick Benjamin.
Well, thank you, Johnny. We're here in the SDP Pit Communication Center on a beautiful day. More than 100,000 here to watch this battle for the Winston Cup Championship and the victory here today. I want to tell you a little bit about Randy Pemberton, one member of our crew who's normally on pit road. Well, Randy's got a ride today. He'll be driving the garage area in this cart. He's on the injured list, but we're glad to have him back there, Johnny Hayes, on pit road for us. The driver doing the chasing in that battle for the Winston Cup title starts way back in the 11th row. Johnny has made his way back to Rusty Wallace.
We're walking on our way back to Rusty right now. You can see it's a long way back. He's got a long way to go to the front. Rusty, I had to run a long way to get back to you, boy. You got me tired and I'm breathing hard. How are we going to get to the front?
Well, you're pretty smart, Johnny. And I told you before that I think I'm going to run pretty good when I got a good car. I'm telling you, I think this Miller J.M. Draft car is strong today. We had to really work through these rule changes. I think that the spoiler hurt us a little bit, but it made us work that much harder. I think you're going to see this car go right to the front, but got to be real smart. A lot of cars in front of me I don't know about. Let the pit crew work for me today a little bit until I get up to the front.
Well, I picked you last time. Good luck. Okay, Dave.
The points leader, Dale Earnhardt, has a good starting spot. He'll take the green in the 9th position. But Dale, everybody's talking about how unstable these cars are. Can you hang on to this thing for 500 miles?
I hope so. That's what we're here for. You know, the car's been handling pretty good in practice. I think we'll be okay.
Dale Earnhardt, he'll take off from 9th.
Well, we're getting set for the national anthem. We've had the usual pre-race ceremonies, some of which we'll show you here at H.A. Humpy Wheeler's great facility. There you see part of the crowd. And 42 cars have qualified, a couple of provisional starters in the back. Neil, as we wait for Randy Travis to sing the national anthem, this gets down to a totally different picture than what we've experienced in probably 15 years on this track. You know, I guess let's go down for the national anthem right there.
You see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous night o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
A beautiful version of the national anthem from Randy Travis as we get set for racing in Charlotte, North Carolina. Well, earlier this week, the whole conversation down here in the garage area has been about the rule changes that NASCAR has effected in trying to slow the cars down both here in Atlanta. 190 miles an hour to turn 1 here, 195 about down at Atlanta for that last race, November 14th. They're trying to whole them down a little. They brought them down 2 miles an hour in qualifying. But the issue is, can they slow them down in this race? Let's take a look at what they've done. Neil has filed this report.
NASCAR is continuously trying to make these cars more stable, protect the drivers and the fans. We've seen some of them fly lately. I can attest to that. But the biggest thing they're doing right here on this rear spoiler, this thing used to be 6.5 inches high. They cut it down to 5. Took a lot of downforce off this trunk area, holding rear wheels on the ground. They've got to lift a little bit early. They're not near as stable. The next thing they did, they checked these cars right here, back from the hood, back from the roof, a 1/2 inch higher. They made them raise them up, in turn getting the whole body height up in the air, slowing them down, trying to stabilize the car. And then a place that's really effective on these cars, they're always working on this frontal area of these race cars to get them sloped down as close to the ground as they can possibly get them. They used to be at 3.5 inches. They raised them up to 5. Now the air is going under the car. In turn, the thing is not as stable. The driver has to lift a little bit sooner. The thing they're trying to do is help them when they turn these cars around backwards. We've seen them in the past get backwards. Air goes under the hood like a parachute. Look here. They put a little flapper in the cowl. It's on both sides of the cowl area. When the car gets backwards, catches air like a parachute, this releases the air. The car tries to stay on the ground. It's just kind of trial and error right now. Hopefully this is right here. These new changes will keep the cars on the ground when they have problems.
Let's go down for the command to fire the engines and begin the Mellow Yellow 500.
Gentlemen, start your engines!
Quite a chorus. And quite a chorus here of well over 100,000, probably 130, cheering as the engines get sent on their way. Drivers ready for 500 miles, 334 laps at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. There you see Bobby Hillen settling in with car number 90 as we get ready for a go this afternoon. Derek Cope a little further back in the field. He's set. Cale Yarborough's car coming to life. And Darrell Waltrip ready for action. carrying our onboard cameras today. Let's talk a little about what these rule changes can mean in the 500 today. And first go to Johnny Hayes.
Ken, Gary Nelson, NASCAR, they're in a no-win situation. They've got a problem. They've got to slow these cars down. They've tried everything they can to keep them from getting airborne. Gary Nelson brought the Pontiac and the Chevrolet and the Ford here to do a test to make sure everybody was comfortable. Rusty said he was comfortable. Ricky Rudd said he was comfortable. Then they get back, and then they have complaints that the cars are not working just right. It's just a tough deal, but bottom line, these cars are going 2 miles an hour faster down the straightaway than they were before the change to slow them down. It slowed them down in the turns, but not on the straightaway.
Dr. Dick Berggren.
Well, Ken, it seems to have differentially affected the various makes of cars. If anything, Chevrolet hasn't been much affected at all, and neither has Ford. But it has, in fact, hurt the Pontiacs. They've got a small trunk, and when they took the spoiler away, it made the back end of the car a little bit loose. The Pontiac drivers are not yet ready to give up on this thing by a long shot, but they're going to have their hands full this afternoon.
Randy Pemberton.
Well, the whole thing is, gentlemen, driving loose race cars. You talk about Ernie Irvan, Dale Earnhardt, Rusty Wallace, all being able to drive a loose race car. That is, in fact, what it's going to be able to take here today in order to go to victory lane. But how loose of a race car do you want to drive? If a chassis man can get a car where it sticks through the corners, maybe that guy's the one to go to victory lane here today. The advantage has to go to the guys that can drive a loose race car, but you cannot tell me a good chassis man isn't going to be a strong part of winning this race here this afternoon.
Rick Benjamin.
Well, the good chassis man may reside in the pits of Mark Martin today. A lot of folks we talked to this morning think that Martin is going to build on his strong victory yesterday in the Busch Grand National race. He was more than a mile an hour faster than everybody else yesterday. In the final practice, we'll see how it plays out.
Neil, a lot of drivers can drive them loose, a car that kind of wiggles out there, but to drive them fast and loose, you really got a limited number of people that have that kind of talent.
Yeah, there's several of the drivers that like loose race cars. You think of Rusty Wallace, Earnhardt, and then I think of Gant, the guy that finesses the car, and Walter. It's going to take several different guys. I'd like to sit here and give you the answer. I don't have any idea what's going to happen, and neither do these guys on the other side of the fence here. We're going to have to turn them loose, see if they go fast, see if they stay on the ground. It could be full of a lot of spins. We don't know what's going to happen yet.
But when you talk about fast and loose, you usually talk about Earnhardt, Gant, a guy like Jimmy Spencer, even Waltrip back in those old days. That car isn't working the way you want it. You want somebody to manhandle it. Harry Gant's always a guy that can get that kind of job done, too.
The guy that's on the pole, young man, Jeff Gordon, just got out of sprint cars, dirt cars. He's over in this type racing now. He's ran sideways all his life. He's young. He doesn't know any better. He's liable to put on a show today.
What we need is Neil Bonded in that group. Let's take a look at the starting grid for today's 34th annual Mellow Yellow 500. It's presented by Haviland. Jeff Gordon is on the pole, 22-year-old freshman, youngest Winston Cup pole sitter in 41 years. And alongside his 5th straight front row start, that's Ernie Irvan. For row 2, it's Jeff Bodine, the 91 winner of the event, and Ken Schrader, who won it in 89. Row 3 today is Bill Elliott, the 84 and 87 champion here, and Greg Sachs, his best start of the season. Row 4, defending champion here, Mark Martin and Ricky Rudd. In row 5, it's a 5-time Charlotte winner, Dale Earnhardt and Brett Bodine. For row 6, first ride in the Morgan McClure Chevrolet for Joe Nemechek and Rick Mast alongside. In row 7, Harry Gant's there, won this race in 82 from the pole, last man to do it. Derek Cope, the former winner of the Daytona 500 in row 7. Row 8, Jimmy Spencer. He had a 4th place here 1 year back in his first ride for Bobby Allison and Morgan Shepherd. Row 9 is Todd Bodine, the 3rd brother in that Bodine clan from Chemung, New York, and Rick Wilson taking one of his final rides in the Petty Pontiac. In row 10 today, it's Rich Bickle, short track ace from Wisconsin, and Michael Waltrip. In row 11, Rusty Wallace is there, and alongside the 84 Winston Cup champion, Terry Labonte. For row 12, Hut Strickland and the 6-time Charlotte winner, Darrell Waltrip. Row 13 is Andy Hillenberg, that sprint car star from Indiana, and Ted Musgrave. Row 14 is Dick Trickle and Bobby Hamilton. Row 15 is Jim Sauter and Jeremy Mayfield. Row 16 today is Kyle Petty, who finished 3rd here last year, and Jerry O'Neill. In row 17, Wally Dallenbach and Sterling Marlin. For row 18, it's Mike Wallace and Lake Speed. In row 19, Bobby Hillin and Dale Jarrett with his worst start all year back in 38th spot. Row 20 is Chad Little and John Andretti making his second Winston Cup start. Provisional starters, Bobby Labonte starts 41st on the inside of row 21, and Kenny Wallace rounds out the Haviland starting grid.
They had Andy Hillenberg, Ken, move to the rear of the field. He starts dead last. He wrecked his car in practice and had to go to a backup car, so he'll be dead last in the 29.
Bringing him out of the line that he was in and sending him to the rear. Car number 75 pulls down onto pit road. Todd Bodine out of Chemung, New York. Temperatures at 76 degrees today, just about perfect. Good overcast for today, but in and out of the clouds. It's not like racing at night, is it, Neil?
There's Junior Johnson. We see him getting ready for the start. Let me tell you, Ken, the sunshine, the cool track, the hot track, let me tell you, that's the least of the worries. I think these guys are concerned what kind of car, what kind of race have they got.
$1 million plus today, 42 cars running, 334 laps for 500 miles. There are 3 races left after today. The point battle, a 72-point differential as we go into it. Rusty Wallace has been carving away at Dale Earnhardt's 300-point lead back at the end of August. On board with Darrell Waltrip as he gets set to sail in the Western Auto car number 17 this afternoon. Here's Bobby Hillin taking a look up through the field from car number 90 as he gets set for a go. And there's Derek Cope ready for action this afternoon. Pace car bringing the field down, getting set for a start. Randy Travis to drop the green over the field today. Mellow Yellow and Coca-Cola talking about a 10-year deal with the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Not talking about it. They signed the deal today, and they're going to be here for some time to come. Here comes the field. Rolling down for a start. Gordon getting a bit of a break, and he's away. In front for just a moment. Ernie Irvan right back as the car 75 wheels on the pit road, already having a problem. Todd Bodine.
They said he's been black flagged. I'm not sure what that's about, Kim, but they did black flag him. There's Gordon. I tell you what, Ernie Irvan wanted to try to make that pass. He's Gordon inside. Here comes Jeff. Look at Jeff Bodine, 3 deep going into turn 3.
Jeff Bodine in the number 7 car. Making a good run. Carries himself right up into second spot. Behind Ernie Irvan out in front.
A lot of concern about the drivers when they get in traffic. They don't know exactly how these cars are going to feel. They're faster down the straightaway, but they need that spoiler in traffic. We're going to see what happens.
Todd Bodine comes back on the track, and he's overlapped as they wheel down the back straightaway. It's Irvan in front, Jeff Bodine in second, Jeff Gordon in third, Schrader and Greg Sachs on board VW as he storms up through the field. Coming around that lap car of Todd Bodine.
There's Terry Labonte directly in front of him. 55 car right there down on the inside.
Going back to the front. Good scramble for second place. Bodine under challenge. Jeff Gordon there. Jeff Gordon pressing on the inside. Looking for any kind of a hole to open up and get back into second place as Ernie Irvan draws away in the early going.
I tell you, that little 24 car of Jeff Gordon's has really been strong all week. I think people thought he would lead the race, but Ernie Irvan in the 28 got a big jump on him.
Earnhardt runs in the 8th position. He's right behind Mark Martin.
Yeah, and outside of Earnhardt is Bill Elliott trying to move up. In the number 11, the red car is Bill Elliott. They'll in behind Dale Earnhardt.
Ernie Irvan out in front. That's the 17th race he's led this year.
That number 6 car right there in front of Earnhardt, that's the car that showed big numbers in practice. Really quick in all the practice. They thought he might be the man on the go, but talk about on the go. On the outside, going down in turn 3, Earnhardt's trying to get around him. Makes it work. That's the tough way to do it. They made some major changes to Earnhardt's car today. They were questioning which way to go. The car's been quick, but they wanted to make some changes. They tried it. Looked like it might have helped him a little bit. Ricky Rudd right there in front of him, Ken. His car's quick.
Rusty Wallace, 18th position, closing on Derek Cope in the 98. Harry Gant just in front of him. Now remember, they've got that very short rear deck on those Pontiacs, and the Pontiac folks have been very unhappy all week about the conditions under which they're running. They just don't have that much space for downforce on that rear trunk lid. Cope on the outside, Rusty Wallace on the inside. Battle for 15th now as Wallace picked off Gant, goes for Derek Cope and has him. out of 2.
You know, we're hearing everybody say the cars are doing this or doing that. There goes Rusty. We see him passing. But Rusty sounded very confident when we interviewed him earlier. I'm not so sure they're telling us the whole story. That car looks good to me.
As they come around to complete 6 laps, Ernie Irvan draws away. It's Jeff Bodine under challenge from Jeff Gordon for second. Greg Sachs runs in 4th. Schrader's in 5th. Ricky Rudd's in 6th. Earnhardt's in 7th. Mark Martin in 8th. Elliott 9th. Rick Mast in 10th. More from Charlotte in a moment.
The Mellow Yellow 500 is brought to you by Avalon Formula 3 Motor Oil. Add more life to your car. By Keystone, Keystone Light, and Keystone Dry. Bottled beer taste in a can. Wouldn't that be great? And by Western Auto, the official auto parts and service store of NASCAR.
Robert, we're ready.
Okay. Got it warmed up?
Yeah.
Before a Robert Yates engine makes it to the track, it's torture tested right here.
Well, let's do it.
And there's only one motor oil Yates relies on for complete protection. Haviland Formula 3. The same Haviland Formula 3 you can buy right off the shelf.
215 degrees, 8,700.
That's race ready.
Haviland Formula 3 motor oil from Texaco.
It's running like a winner. That'll get the job done.
Wouldn't it be great if you were stranded on a desert island with a beautiful woman named Betty? Cool. And while scouting the island, you were suddenly surrounded.
You!
But then they noticed your shoes.
You! Great one! Booga, booga!
So they gave you gifts.
Keystone!
Keystone Light, and Keystone Dry. Specially lined for really smooth.
Bottle beer taste in can! Quitting time!
Wouldn't that be great?
At 180 miles an hour, Darrell Waltrip can't afford a bad part.
Ouch, man, that hurt. Like you, I need quality parts at the right price. And at Western Auto, we guarantee it. You'll find thousands of top name brand parts, all backed by Western Auto's unbeatable everyday low price guarantee. Right?
Right, DW. Pick up Castro GTX at Western Auto's low price. Castro GTX provides maximum protection against viscosity and thermal breakdown.
The right parts, unbeatable low prices. At Western Auto, we guarantee it.
Right, DW.
Everyone knows Duracell batteries last a real long time, but why? Hey, Kristen, does that science course teach you why these batteries last so long? What? Never mind. My wife's big in these consumerist issues. Hey, honey, these Duracell...
Yeah?
Not the right time. Oh, there's a clue. Hey, TJ.
What?
Too young. Think I'll go on a little quest. Find out why these Duracell batteries last so long, even if it takes me to the end of the block. Oh, my know-it-all neighbor, Jerry. Hey, Jer!
Duracell. No other battery lasts longer.
And I'm going to find out why. So, Mike, you're one of the last of the neighborhood pharmacists, I guess.
That is correct.
Seems you only carry Duracell batteries back there.
That is correct.
Trying to figure out what makes them last so long.
It's a mystery. Someday I'm going to solve it. But they're so dependable that there's no question or doubt I haven't any hesitation whatsoever in selling them.
Any other kind of product in here you'd equate with Duracell batteries?
None whatsoever.
Nothing else in the stores is reliable?
Nothing.
Not even you?
Well, I am.
Duracell. No other battery lasts longer.
That is correct.
But why?
Sunday night NFL on TNT. On one side of the tracks, a crafty engineer. On the other side, Reggie White, the train. Broncos, Packers. Tonight, special time, 7:30 Eastern on TNT.
12 laps, 18 miles complete by 1 7/10. Ernie Irvan out in front of now Dale Earnhardt in second place, wasting no time, moving through traffic. Earnhardt has pulled himself up into second position. Take a look at this pass just a moment ago.
Kenny got a run off the second turn, drove the car down under the 24 of Jeff Gordon. Makes the car stick right here, right on the bottom of the track. Pulls up in front of him, coming off turn 4. Came through a lot of traffic up to second place.
Car or experience?
Well, I tell you, I think this rule thing with a little bit of looseness might be coming Earnhardt's way. He doesn't mind wrestling one around. And Rusty Wallace back there, he's coming on up also.
Wallace on the move is now into 14th, and Gant has jumped up into 13th. Harry Gant, remember, was behind Wallace when last we reported to you on him. He's picked up a couple of 3 spots. Here you see the leader, number 28, with Ernie Irvan now at the control, seeking his second win, one for the first time in that Yates car at Martinsville, Virginia. Here's Rusty Wallace. He's looking for Gant just in front of him in the 33. Meanwhile, look at Gordon fighting with Earnhardt another time as they battle for second.
Yeah, Earnhardt passed him. Here comes Gordon right back. While they're doing this, 28 car, Ernie Irvan just checking out on them. These guys are racing real hard.
Picks up a 10th, 1 and 8 now. 1 and 8/10 of a second between first and the second place battle of Earnhardt and Jeff Gordon. Let's review further back for you. Just outside the top 10, Rudd is now in 10th. Spencer's 11th, Gant 12th. Bodine 13th as Gant continues to mount an assault toward the front. Wallace 14th. Wilson in the 44 is 15th. Joe Nemechek, he's up to 16th. Darren Copeland 17th. Strickland is 18th. Kyle Petty is 19th. Terry Lamont is 20th. Wally Dallenbach 21st, and then Sterling Marlin 22nd.
We're seeing Rusty Wallace come through there. The key to his move to the front is just as he said himself. He's got to be careful. He's got a lot of cars in front of him. He's taking his time, but he's working his way to the front.
And he's worked his way into 12th position now. Rusty Wallace putting that Pontiac up to 12th. Remember how the Pontiacs had been fuming and fussing all week, Neil? You think they were telling us a story? It seemed to me they really had a point to make, but they just didn't have the handle earlier on.
I don't doubt that the spoiler thing is going to help one manufacturer or hurt one manufacturer more than the other. But Rusty Wallace and his team loaded up. They went to the wind tunnel Monday after last Sunday's race, so they put in a lot of effort to get that car right.
Meanwhile, Bill Elliott in the Junior Johnson car comes up to a 6th spot. Let's go to Johnny Hayes.
Junior, your car's running well at the start. We had a bunch of new rules. How does that affect everything?
Well, yesterday, for instance, Johnny, the morning practice, our car was perfect. Yesterday evening, he couldn't drive it at all. So we threw out the morning practice chassis combination, and we went to something else yesterday evening, and never did get it worked out. Again this morning, we went to another one. So we don't know where we at. It's a pretty tough thing right now to take a new rule like this and hit it the first time around. Whoever hits it's going to be fine. And the rest of the guys are just going to have to pick and choose and hunt for it the rest of the day, I think.
Well, right now, picking his way, choosing the low line, Elliott trying to close on Schrader, and he's picked up a couple of car lengths in the past lap or so. Now you're looking at Kyle Petty, and look at this battle continue for second. What a story on Kyle from 31st. He's up to 17th in that car 42 Pontiac. Look at this war. On the inside, Gordon, the pole sitter, right alongside Dale Earnhardt.
Watching Bill Elliott a while ago, he moved up higher on the racetrack in 3 and 4, and it seemed to be fast for him. A couple of laps ago, Earnhardt moved up to try it. It looked like Gordon could get under him when he gets high. But the difference is, can you get that momentum off the corner, pinching the car in the bottom? So these guys are fishing around, trying to find a place on the track to run.
And as they run side by side, they squander the opportunity to close on Ernie Irvan. He's checked out. He's out in front by 3 seconds now.
I'm not sure they're squandering. I think he was checking out anyway. That thing of his is running. These guys are racing.
Still side by side, back straightaway, but it's awfully early to be linked up in a war like this for the moment. Gordon, here comes Earnhardt right back on the inside. Dynamite racing at lap, let's see, coming up 21.
Well, you just said it, Ken. The name of the game is racing. It's not ride. And the racing we do nowadays in Winston Cup, you race from the time they drop that green flag to the checker. These guys are running just as hard as if we're the end of the race.
All these rule changes as you watch Earnhardt on the bottom of the racetrack. Gordon alongside. Gordon goes back into second spot. Boy, for an early race battle, we've got a dandy, and it's Jeff Gordon. Once again, taking that high road. Here comes Earnhardt, rolling back on the inside as they come out of turn number 4. He settles in behind for a moment. Dale, are you for or against the rule changes?
Just like always, it gives us a couple of races, a little time in the wind tunnel where the cars dialed back in and stuck back to the racetrack. So if it'll slow the cars some down in the race and help accomplish what they want to without putting a restrict plate on it, I'm for that.
Meanwhile, Ernie Irvan pulls away to almost a 4-second lead, 3 9/10, and check out this interval between that car in the lead and your battle for second spot. Here's Gordon back to second. In third is Earnhardt. Behind him is Greg Sachs in a great qualifying spot in the number 68 car, Country Time car. Then Bill Elliott 5th, Schrader 6th, Martin 7th, Harry Gant to 8th, Rick Mast to 9th, Ricky Rudd to 10th, Spencer Wallace 12th.
I tell you, Gordon, I thought when it first started, he might be able to take the lead. But look at this 28 car of Ernie Irvan. He's right around the bottom of the racetrack. He's one of the few cars running on the white line all the way through the corner. So that car is really working.
So, assisting TBS Sports with aerial coverage of this Mellow Yellow 500, the folks from Ray Bestis, the Best in Brakes, giving you this picture of the battle for second place.
I'm Walt Garrison. No matter where or how you spend your time, you depend on your equipment. I count on my old-timer knife by Schrade for the really tough jobs. Handcrafted here in the USA, Old-Timer, Uncle Henry, and Schrade knives all have one thing in common: Schrade's lifetime warranty. So whether it's a simple chore or something that requires just a little bit more attention, be sure it's a Schrade. Schrade cutlery, built to last a lifetime.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Great balls of fire! You shake my nerves and you rattle my brain. Too much love drives a man insane. You broke my will, what a thrill. Feeling this to raise your great balls of fire.
Bosch Platinum, the ultimate spark plug.
This is a credit card, so it's gold. Yahoo! I mean, no card is more accepted on the planet, but it doesn't make you some kind of celebrity. Actually, maybe it could. I mean, with Gold MasterCard's new Master Guest service, you can get free personal vacation planning assistance. The celebrities always have personal assistants. Master Guest can even save you up to 30% on great vacation packages. And celebrities are always getting special deals, so I guess Gold MasterCard could make you a celebrity. See you in the tabloids. Gold MasterCard, it's more than a gold card, it's smart money.
Chevy announces a breakthrough. Introducing the 94 Chevy S-Series Extended Cab, so new from the inside out. Everything else is history.
Welcome back to the Charlotte Motor Speedway. We take you high above turn 2 as Jeff Gordon tries to find a way to track down Ernie Irvan. It's been Ernie Irvan's show so far here in the early going today at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Maybe Ernie can add a few dollars to his prize money take out of here today. More than $1 million on the line. The True Value, folks. True Value has the hard charger money posted today. $5,000 today, a $50,000 season-long purse available for the drivers who lead the most laps and run on the top 5 the most laps. So far this season, Dale Earnhardt's leading the standings, followed by Rusty Wallace, mimicking the Winston Cup points. Mark Martin, Ernie Irvan is 4th, and Kyle Petty 5th. We'll keep you posted on the True Value battle here all afternoon long.
Good battle right here. There you see Jimmy Spencer down on the inside, Ricky Rudd on the high side as they battle for 10th position.
Ken, we're seeing a lot of guys. Watch Rudd when he goes in his corner. He takes a real high line. That's the line of about 3 or 4 years ago. And that's exactly what we've done to these race cars. We put them back 3 years with this spoiler. That's about the trim they were in. Seeing a lot of cars try that high line on the racetrack.
Rudd going for 10th position against Jimmy Spencer. And for the moment, the Meineke car stays with it, holds the spot, and actually pulls away. Look at this battle. And that is a nice one that's going on. The 11 car, Bill Elliott, back in 5th spot, battling with Harry Gant on the inside. Johnny Hayes is standing by with Harry Gant's crew chief.
Leo Jackson, your car's running real well. Harry's coming to the front. He's thanking him.
No, Johnny hadn't said a word. You know, he's paced a lot of cars. Looks like he's in pretty good shape.
Harry Gant's a great driver of a loose race car. We all talked about that earlier. As these cars go away, Harry Gant seems to get better. This may be his day.
Johnny, there's a good chance of that, because let me tell you, when we used to go to Dover and some of the tracks that really got slick in the race, Gant would get up on that wall, he'd find him a place to race, he'd run anywhere on the track, he'd dig around and get him a groove, and here he is on, well, we've got a little bit of different circumstances, he's coming to the front.
Remember what's happened. They made these cars a little more difficult to handle, lifted them up a little higher. and therefore you have to get out of the throttle a little earlier, use it a little more gingerly through the turn, faster in the straightaways, a little slower in the corners than they were before. But those that can travel those corners sideways are the ones you want to watch today. Look at Ernie Irvan with a 4-second advantage. Think about this kid in second spot. This kid right there, as he continues to work Jeff Gordon in that second spot. Earnhardt maintaining third. The veteran who really knows how to get that car sideways, and still Harry Gant pulls up through. Rusty Wallace doing a good job as he continues to close on these leaders. He's up to 11th. Better than 4-second advantage for Ernie Irvan.
And Ernie told us when he from the top of the show that from the time they've unloaded that car, it's been quick and it's driven good and it's showing up. You know, here's a guy we talked about earlier, Kyle Petty. He's got a different line around this racetrack. Most people, he rolls out of the gas early. You won't never see him get very high above that line. Then he jumps the car up off the corner. When you got these kind of situations, if you can have that discipline, coast the car in, feed it through the corner, and squirt it up the straightaways, Kyle can get to the front also. He's one of the guys that runs the bottom of this racetrack all day.
Kyle to 10th position from 31st. There's one Pontiac that's flying. That battle with the 42 car about 12 seconds back from the leaders. We're running lap 34. 51 miles have been completed. Change that. 35 now. 2.5 down. Still all green thus far. Had 12 cautions yesterday, a record. These cars more ill handling than the Grand National cars that we saw performing in that 300-mile race yesterday. These drivers really staying on top of them in the early going.
Well, they're having to, Ken. I think this first pit stop, whenever we have a caution or whenever we make that first green stop, you're going to see these crews go to work, because a couple or three of these cars, they're in good shape. The rest of them, boy, they have got their hands full.
As you watch this number 28 flying, just floating around these corners with Modesto, California's Ernie Irvan at the controls. They made some changes, I believe, with this car this morning. Dick Berggren, how about it?
Well, Ken Squire, just about everybody was changing their car this morning except the 28 crew. Robert Yates today said we had a choice. We decided to not change the springs on the car. We changed the valve springs in the engine instead. This place is very tough on engines. About 25% of all of those who start blow up before this race is over. They're not worried about the car, they're worried about the motor.
Dick, I tell you what, of all things that happen to any of these Winston Cup motors, it's usually that valve train. They've got connecting rods, crankshafts, blocks. The manufacturers have built such bulletproof pieces. The thing that gives you trouble is those valve springs in the valves, because they abuse them so much. And you'll see a lot of the teams put new springs on race morning.
Coming around to complete 38 laps with Ernie Irvan first, Earnhardt and Jeff Gordon continuing their war as they battle it out a little further back. For the moment, it's Jeff Gordon in second, Earnhardt having to settle for third, but he won't settle for anything but first. He has his way about it. We'll see how that develops in the afternoon.
It's the best of the funny guys next week on TBS.
That boy is a P-I-G-K.
That's 4 nights, 4 movies.
We're on a mission from God.
With Richard Pryor, Rodney Dangerfield, John Belushi, and Dan Aykroyd.
Frankly, they're offensive.
What I say? Bustin' Loose, Easy Money, The Blues Brothers, Animal House. It's the best of the funny guys. 8:05 Eastern next Monday through Thursday on TBS.
Robert, all we need here is some oil and we'll be ready to crank. Okay. Jeff, get us 2 cases of have one.
Yes, sir, right away. Robert, we're out.
Get us 2 cases and fly.
There's only one motor oil that Robert Yates Racing relies on for complete protection. Haviland Formula 3 from Texaco. The same Haviland Formula 3 you can use in your car.
That was quick.
Yeah, they had it right down the street.
Hey, we got 15 minutes to walk.
Elvira here, Mistress of the Dark and sometimes Surfer Babe, because Coors Light is the official beer of Halloween, and the party's at the beach, Malibu Beach, where you can hang 10. Look, Frankie and Annette. And of course, when it's time to chill, just reach for that cooler of Coors Light. Aged ice cold, never frozen stiff. It's the right beer now for Halloween. Just look for the Silver Bullet Smooth display and dig up your friends now for a party at the beach. Happy Halloween, dudes.
What's new from Xerox? Xerox Extreme 450 Antifreeze and a new 4-year guarantee.
If your kid's just starting college, it's guaranteed till he graduates. We've taken our promise to extremes. For the next 4 years or the next 50,000 miles, we guarantee the temperature never drops below Xerex. It's protection you never had from antifreeze before. Get new Xerex Extreme 450. And for the next 4 years, the next 50,000 miles, we guarantee the temperature never drops below Xerex.
Back at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, the Mellow Yellow 500 working lap 43 with Ernie Irvan in command. We're watching the progress, or the lack of same, on the part of Ken Schrader, the Fenton, Missouri campaigner, who started this afternoon in 4th spot. They've changed 2 motors in that car, one yesterday afternoon before the final practice. Motor was vibrating. They put another engine in today before the start of this race. It's not working out. Schrader backing up in the field at the moment. Hopefully he'll get it sorted out.
Up in front now by 7 seconds with 43 laps complete of the 334 to be run. The interval continue to develop. He's just lapped Morgan Shepherd, who started 16th, this guy in Ernie Irvan.
I'll tell you, if he keeps up this pace, Ken, he's going to start lapping a bunch of the good race cars.
Sterling Marlin in the number 8. He has come to 14th position, started 34th on the day, and the Ray Bestis car working very well for the Stavola brothers as Sterling Marlin tries to break that jinx. 9 second-place finishes, but never a winner. Remember here at Charlotte, he had a 601 by a lap and blew a tire with time running out back in the 80s. Sterling Marlin having a good run thus far as he continues to clip them off. But the man really on the move right now is Harry Gant, who is up to 5th position in his Chevrolet number 33. You see Terry Labonte's number 14, the Kellogg car, right behind at number 8, and they are running 14th and 15th respectively. Here's Jeff Gordon running 2nd. Here's Dick Berggren.
There's trouble with the 24 car, Ken Squire. In fact, there's double trouble with the 24. One of the problems that they're having, their radio is not working properly. Gordon is unable to talk to his crew, although his crew can talk to him. Now, the crew just asked him a couple of laps ago, when you come by, if it's loose, wave. And we saw a frantic wave through the window. Before the radio went out, Gordon was complaining on nearly every lap. The car is getting looser and looser in the corners.
There goes Greg Sachs up into 3rd spot. Earnhardt falling to 4th, and here comes Harry Gant. Gant dominating inside, clips through. That's Gant into 4th. Earnhardt dropping back. What do you think the story here is, Neil?
Well, he'd been falling off the pace there, and Sachs had been running a really good race along with Gant. They were working together, coming to the front. Earnhardt car's fading with it. Sachs has had a tremendous run.
And a great qualifying day for Greg Sachs.
Neil Bonnet, I want to pose this more as a question about Dale Earnhardt. Now, we talk about the possibility of him being able to drive a loose race car. He's been able to bring it up on the high side, down on the low side. What about driving a loose race car during this race? Does that wear the tires down more so than if the car tracked true through the corners? Neil, that's the question I pose to you.
Randy, there's no doubt about it. If the car's loose, you're spinning the rear wheels, they're slipping a little bit, it's going to wear some. A lot of the guys made changes this morning, and it looks to me like Earnhardt's got his car a little loose. He just can't get going like he wants to. But we're seeing about 6 or 7 of the top guys fade a little bit. Look here, you know, we talked about Gant early, that finesse. It looks like the 68 car's hooked up. You were right, Randy, at the top of the show. The guy that's got the chassis, he's going to go to the front. If it's not handling, I don't guess any driver can get in front. Earnhardt's starting to fade himself.
Greg Sachs, who failed to qualify just a week ago at North Wilkesboro, having a great run here, holding 3rd spot. Here comes Earnhardt back beneath Gant. Scramble for 4th.
See Mike Walter coming down pit road while we're watching this action here.
Jimmy Spencer pitted and went a lap down. Well, we had this confrontation going on. Spencer has gone a lap down, and now number 30 comes in a bit early at lap 49, the Pennzoil Pontiac.
Yeah, he'd already been lapped. He got way behind, so they're going to have to make some kind of change.
Had a great run yesterday. Won 2nd place in the Grand National event to Mark Martin with Earnhardt 3rd.
Yeah, good run. He passed Earnhardt right there at the end, finished 2nd. Good run for him. 4 tires all the way around. You see that every time they stop today. And boy, are those going to feel good. After you've been out there sliding, you slipping and sliding, those 4 new ones feel like they nailed her to the ground for you.
Qualified in 30th spot, and then that car backed up to 38th. It's still this man, Lonesome Irvan out in front, 7-second advantage. First 50 laps are complete with nary a sign of caution thus far in the event. They said it would either be a runaway or wreck strewn. That was the prediction from H.A. Humpy Wheeler, the promoter, with the changes that NASCAR had put into effect, but I didn't think anyone was figuring Ernie Irvan would be the runner.
Well, just like he's talking about, what he's talking about, if somebody hits on the chassis that drives away, that thing of Yates has got a lot of motor. If they get it where he can mash that throttle, he's going to drive away, and he's doing it.
Earnhardt coming back. Remember, he dropped off a couple of positions. Here he is on the inside of Greg Sachs.
He goes down the inside, see if he can stick on the bottom. He couldn't do that earlier. His car had been sliding.
In the 52nd lap, it is Earnhardt in the number 3 car. Back to third spot. Irvan leads, Gordon still in second. So it's Ford, Chevy at the present time. And here comes Harry Gant moving back through again.
There's a 4 car coming in. That's Joe Nemechek driving the 4 car this week. He just turned down pit road.
We're at 52 laps. Greg Sachs falling back to 5th position. Realistically, Greg Sachs, as we watch Joe Nemechek making that change, defending Grand National Champion, going all the way around on tires. And they're making a bit of an adjustment there.
They're taking bite. I mean, they're putting bite in the car. They're backing off that right rear jack screw, which puts bite in. His car is real loose. They're trying to tighten it up.
53 laps complete. Greg Sachs, a bit of a surprise out here as he continues to run in 5th spot.
Ken, that's just a little bit early coming in. They're talking about coming in, and he's about 20 laps ahead of everyone else, so he must have been really loose. Boy, we see Irvan right here just lapping everybody. He's coming up through the field. You get one hooked up like that, you want to just smash everybody around. Looks like that's Walter directly in front of Darrell Walter, a big winner at this racetrack. And Irvan's just about to lap him.
Bobby Hillen, the Heilig-Myers car, going a lap down, and now we're seeing some activity on pit road. Here comes Greg Sachs rolling in, and Harry Gant.
Boy, I tell you, that looseness of these race cars might make them stop early for tires.
Here's Johnny Hayes.
Greg Sachs is having an outstanding run. Jumps in the pits. Everybody's over the wall. This is where it's made, folks. You make a good stop, you'll get back out front. If you don't, you're in trouble.
See him getting the right side tires on there. The top teams have been doing 4 tires in roughly 20 seconds. See what kind of stop he gets out of it right here.
Gant had a very good pit stop, and he's back underway and going by Greg Sachs as he gets down. A slow stop on Greg Sachs' car. And the Jackson team had an excellent stop on number 33. Pit stops coming up. We're at lap 56 of the 34th annual Mellow Yellow 500 from Charlotte Motor Speedway, live on TBS this afternoon. Stay with us for all the action.
Being on a professional race crew is one of the world's most exciting jobs. The action, the drama, the glory. But best of all, you get to play with all the craftsman tools you've ever dreamed of. Oh, yeah! 1,600 craftsman hand tools, the official tools of NASCAR, NHRA, and IndyCar racing. Only at Sears.
Over 1 million people each week walk into AutoZone, and taking care of them means having what they need when they need it. That means stocking a lot of parts for a lot of cars. Now, nobody can stock everything, but we stock more than most. And how do we know which ones to carry? That's easy. We listen to our customers, because nobody knows better about what you want than you. So the next time you walk through that door, you might think of yourself as a customer, but we think of you as the boss.
I'm Walt Garrison. No matter where or how you spend your time, you depend on your equipment. I count on my old-timer knife by Schrade for the really tough jobs. Handcrafted here in the USA, Old-Timer, Uncle Henry, and Schrade knives all have one thing in common: Schrade's lifetime warranty. So whether it's a simple chore or something that requires just a little bit more attention, be sure it's a Schrade. Schrade cutlery, built to last a lifetime.
So the idea hits me. Chicken sounds good. I head for Long John. Something tells me I should. For $1.99, I hear a voice say, chicken at Long John's will blow you away. Hey, what am I thinking? Am I in outer space? Can the world's best chicken be at a fish place? And the voice said, chicken at Long John's is just a thing. So many choices, those taste buds will sing. For your buck. So I stopped at the sign, couldn't believe my eyes. Got the $1.99 fish, chicken, and fries. So if you're thinking chicken, you gotta go fish. At Long John Silver's, you're gonna get your wish.
60 laps, 90 miles have been completed. There you see Ernie Irvan out in front. He is a remarkable part of the story, but look at this. This is even more remarkable. From 34th spot, that is 31st spot, Kyle Petty going to third. Car number 42, Kyle Petty's Pontiac, is up into third position. What a ride he's giving. Bill Elliott brings in number 11, the 5th place car. Derek Hope is on pit road. Musgrave is in, watching that pit stop on Elliott. Seeing Schrader coming in right behind him.
These guys are going to get a workout on pit road this week. Looks like they're coming in. They're not going a full fuel run. They're going tire run. They're stopping before they need fuel.
Now here's Earnhardt coming in, running in 4th position. Wallace will come up to 5th in these pit stops. Rick Mast, who's then running 6th, he comes in. Rudd, who's running 7th. So they're all pulling in here. Looks like they're watching each other, Dick Berggren.
Sure are, Ken Squire. We've been listening to the radios here, and that's exactly what they're doing. Rusty a few laps ago was told, stay out, wait until the 28 comes in, follow the 28 in. But Rusty Wallace just drove in front of the 28 pits, and Ernie Irvan is still on the racetrack. He should be in here in another lap or two, however.
And Kyle Petty now pits. He was up to 3rd spot. Irvan and Gordon, 1st and 2nd, have yet to pit. Ernie Irvan out in front and building that lead up to a 10-second advantage in the early going. Stays out there. We are now in lap 62. They should go 100, 105 miles easily here, Neil.
Yeah, they're coming in before they need fuel because they're not handling well. The nightmare that all these people don't want to happen is a caution to come out right now with 2 cars that haven't pitted and the rest of them been in. Boy, will this scramble the field up there. Everyone hopes they have to go green until the leaders pit.
Now with these pit stops, the advantage is 12.5 seconds between Ernie Irvan and Jeff Gordon as Irvan drives away from the field. Think he's putting too much pressure on that motor?
No, I tell you what,
he's running right.
There's Irvan turning down pit road right now, the leader coming in.
Dick Berggren standing by in the Ernie Irvan Robert Yates pits as the Texaco Haviland car eases down. Running against the speed limit. 55 today.
55 on pit road.
Here's Dick Berggren.
Well, these guys have been ready for this one, Ken Squire. They have been absolutely tense on the edge of pit wall. And just before he made this pit stop, Ernie Irvan was told, watch your fuel pressure light. Watch your fuel pressure light. So they may have stretched the fuel a little bit more than we might have thought. 2 pumps on the jack. Right side tires already changed. Left side about ready to go. Nice stop. 20.8. Nice stop for Ernie Irvan.
That's about as good a stop as we've seen on pit road already. So the fast car, fast pit crew, he's going to be hard to handle.
Gordon brings the DuPont Lumina down pit road. Critical stop here. Let's see if he can do any better than what we saw accomplished a moment ago by Ernie Irvan.
This is a young team right here. Young driver, the whole team is young. And I'll tell you, they get the job done. We'll see what they do with this stop. Gordon mentioned when we interviewed him, he said he's critical our pit stop. Okay, there they go. They're putting some bite in his car, backing off that right rear. That's puts more bite in the left rear. So he's a tick loose. They're trying to fix some of that. Good stop. 20.2.
Right in there. But still, the man dominating the event, or the team dominating the event, is that car number 28. We're still in the midst of pit stops as we get through lap 64 of the 334 laps to be run. 96 miles are down. We'll get to 100.5 miles at lap 67. We'll take a quick commercial break and be back with you at the Mellow Yellow 500. Winston Cup Racing on TBS from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Sunday night NFL on TNT. On one side of the tracks, a crafty engineer. On the other side, Reggie White, the train. Broncos, Packers. Tonight, special time, 7:30 Eastern on TNT.
Robert, all we need here is some oil and we'll be ready to crank. Okay. Jeff, get us suitcases. I have one.
Yes, sir, right away.
Robert, we're out. Get us suitcases and fly.
There's only one motor oil that Robert Yates Racing relies on for complete protection. Haviland Formula 3 from Texaco.
That was quick.
Yeah, they had it right down the street.
The same Haviland Formula 3 you can use in your car.
Get a free Burger King meal when you buy a case of Haviland Formula 3. But hurry, a deal this tasty can't last long.
Wouldn't it be great if your neighbor was Wally Dallenbach, the Keystone Beer Winston Cup driver?
Wally, great car. Want to take it for a spin, Dave? A spin? And keep her under 170, Dave. 170.
See Wally Dallenbach, or possibly his neighbor Dave, race the Keystone Beer stock car in the Winston Cup Series.
Well, how'd you drive, Dave?
Well, she drifts a little in 3. No problem. But we need to bleed the brakes.
Wouldn't that be great?
At 180 miles an hour, Darrell Waltrip can't afford a bad part.
Ouch, man, that hurt. Like you, I need quality parts at the right price. And at Western Auto, we guarantee it. You'll find thousands of top name brand parts, all backed by Western Auto's unbeatable everyday low price guarantee. Right?
Right, DW. Pick up Castro GTX at Western Auto's low price. Castro GTX provides maximum protection against viscosity and thermal breakdown.
The right parts, unbeatable low prices. At Western Auto, we guarantee it.
Right, DW.
In my career, I've had a lot of good things happen to me. Of course, there were a few headaches, but that's when I'd reach for a Goody's headache powder, and I'm not alone. In a recent survey, doctors preferred the Goody's Formula 2 by more than 3 to 1 over BC's. And only Goody's beats a headache the way I prefer, in record-breaking time.
All right. Make it good. Make it fast.
70 laps, 105 miles complete in the 500-mile race to be run at Charlotte, North Carolina. On TBS this afternoon, Ernie Irvan out in front. Advantage still better than 10 seconds. Everyone has taken the first stop under green. They're averaging 161 miles an hour through that first 100 miles as you watch cars numbers 2 and 3 battling for 8th position. Rusty Wallace fighting with Earnhardt. That's the slugfest for 8th at the present time. The record for this race is 153 miles an hour. They're running at 161 right now, and the battle for the championship is enjoined right here. Remember, Earnhardt leads Wallace by 72 points coming into this race. And Wallace has been taking points away since the beginning of September in every event, trying to get by him there and not making the mark.
It's crazy how things shake out. One week they'll be battling for the lead, 1st and 2nd place. The next week they're battling for 8th and 9th place. It seems like no matter what position they are on the racetrack, they're racing each other every week.
Now, after these stops, let's bring you up to date on where we are in the field. 18 cars run in the lead lap. Irvan first, Kyle second, Mark Martin third, Elliott fourth, Sachs fifth, Gordon sixth with the leaders in traffic here. Earnhardt in 7th, Wallace 8th, Spencer 9th, Gant is 10th, Mast 11th, Rudd 12th, Sterling Marlin 13th, Dale Jarrett back in 14th, and Schrader in 15th.
Boy, if you take a look right here, we see Ernie Irvan coming up on Jeff Bodine. He qualified 3rd. So the 28 car is fixing to put that number 7 a lap down, and he was the 3rd place qualifier for the race. We wondered how qualifying would work out. We didn't think it was as instrumental as who would have the car that was good in the race.
Chad Little in the 19 car going another lap down. Well, Ernie Irvan is just covering them over.
Run him down hurrying. And Jeff Bodine in the 7 car.
18th position.
He's going to try everything he can not to let that 28 by, because he's got to try to stay in that lead lap if the caution comes out.
Irvan leading over Kyle Petty in 2nd spot by 9 8/10 of a second. What a remarkable story Kyle Petty is telling here today. That was a guy that we didn't talk about as one of those manhandlers who could really get out there and turn him sideways, and he's driven as great a first 100 miles as anyone in Charlotte's ever seen. Outstanding run for Kyle Petty.
Yeah, but the key, Ken, is we did mention he's not running it sideways. He's not manhandling sideways. He's the guy we were talking about that eases it down in the corner and squirts it up down the straightaway. He eases his car all the way around that apron and doesn't abuse the tires, doesn't get the car loose. And I'm telling you, it's one of the kind of races he can be tough in. Here we'll see the 28 making that move. Oh, me, talk about traffic. There's Ernie Irvan trying to put that 7 down, but he's got a lap car that's giving him a little bit of a hard time.
Jerry O'Neill just in front of Ernie Irvan in that 65. Kid from Auburn, New York, has been down here several times. And now making his way gingerly down on the bottom of the racetrack. 28, Ernie Irvan. Hard to think of Ernie Irvan in the 28, isn't it?
Yeah, it's easy to make that call. A different number, a different driver. I'll tell you what, they've got that thing handled around this racetrack. And Yates has always had motors that just rip these straightaways apart.
Last lap, 164 mile an hour in traffic. Ernie Irvan really wound up. Now you see the 3 car. That is Dale Earnhardt, who is in 7th spot. Johnny Hayes is with car owner Richard Childress.
Richard, I see Dale and his old buddy are having a whole lot of fun out there. They can't stand. They got to race side by side, or one's got to pass the other. I see Dale got back. What's going on?
Well, you know, we were just running. We had a bad pit stop there. Our lugs fell off. So, you know, he's having to run the car a little harder right now.
You notice the Atlanta hat, your Braves, they doing pretty good. You think you can hang in there like they are?
Well, we just hope we can do as good as they did so far. So, you know, we pull for them, and some of those guys pull for us, and we're hoping them the best.
Good luck.
Boy, you saw a breathtaking moment there. Mike Wallace in the 52. Greg Sachs got a little piece of it in the back. Sachs had to step off it right at the worst part of the track when you're on the throttle coming off that corner. Take another gander at this one.
See, Jeff Gordon goes around the outside of the 52 car. He pulls the air off the 52. He slides right up in front of Greg Sachs. Sachs did a great job not to hit him and turn the 52 around. And that was some of the lead cars. There's Earnhardt on the inside. That was a perfect example of what happens without that spoiler car going around the outside of the 52, pull the rear end out from under him.
Nice save by Sachs. Falls back here a bit, but what a great save. He's back in 8th. Earnhardt is in 6th. Rusty Wallace is up to 7th. There's your leader, Ernie Irvan, as he continues to scramble the field. Gets around the Kellogg car, the Billy Hagan machine. Terry Labonte moving on next year. John Andretti in this race and back some. He's just getting experience out here, riding another one out. John Andretti is a good addition to the racing. He's in 37th position in Winston Cup racing. Guy's very determined, drives all kinds of race cars. We'll see what comes about in 1994.
And a question for you, Neil Bonnet, from Rick Benjamin down here in the STP Pit Communications Center. During the last round of pit stops, Dick Berggren pointed out how Ernie Irvan's team was telling him to watch the fuel pressure gauge, that he didn't go very far on that tank of gas. With these aerodynamic changes, the cars are higher, less spoiler. Are they getting worse fuel mileage now?
I tell you what, Rick, I think the key to that thing is they're not sure. Just like we wasn't sure how it would play out in the race, you've got to be cautious. I think we saw a lot of the leaders pit early until they got that first gauge on what kind of mileage. The 28 was running so good, he wanted to stay out and try to put people down. Now they've got that mileage read, and they'll know what to do. But you're exactly right. That car up in the air is displacing more air, and it's probably burning a lot more fuel.
Irvan has the Ford out in front. 10 seconds plus. All cars are still running after 125 miles. Everybody is still out here. We're showing 82 laps now complete. 334 the distance if you're just joining us. Kyle Petty, there you see him in that 2nd position from 31st. He's brought that Pontiac up through the field. Great piece of driving by Kyle. And in 3rd spot is Mark Martin. Kyle Petty, how do you rate yourself as a driver?
Today I'm in the top 6 in points, so I'd say I'm in the top 6 in drivers. How about that? But I'm not sure about that. I think we've got a real top team, but I'm not sure. I might be in the top 10 in drivers. I think it's taken a long time to get to be in the top 10 in the drivers. But, you know, if I was ranking, I'd probably rank myself 10th.
Right now, he's in 2nd, just 10 seconds back from the leader. But behind him and closing ground is Mark Martin in the number 6. Martin put on a great performance yesterday in the Winn-Dixie 6-cylinder Ford. Got himself his 6th win of the season in that Grand National Series. Every race that Mark Martin has finished in Grand National, there he is, number 6. He's won this year. There you see him up the outside and around Jimmy Sauter. Interval between 2nd and 3rd. Between the 42 and the 6 is 1 9/10 of a second.
I tell you, Mark Martin's car in practice, every time you clock it, he's as quick as anyone there. And if you'll remember, we see Mark Martin win a lot of races. He paces himself good. He says, I run the car as hard as I can. I think he runs the car as hard as it feels good, as hard as he knows he can, and still have some car left. This guy can get to the front, and if he does, he can race anybody up there.
85 laps, 127.5 miles have been completed. Now, let's go to Dick Berggren.
Ken, there's more in this number 6 car. Mark Martin has radioed to his crew and said it's a bit loose. Steve Neal, the crew chief, says they can fix that on the next pit stop. Speaking of fixing, believe it or not, they opened up the nose on this car earlier this week. They cut it apart with sheet metal tools, welded pieces in, re-welded it, taped it back over, cleaned it up. No wind tunnel after that change, but they're trying to make both the front stick better and the rear. Looks like it's sticking pretty decent right now.
Looks good. I tell you what, sometimes the best wind tunnel and the best dyno is this big black strip of asphalt out here. Best place to fix a race car is where you got to race it.
The wind tunnel does help a little.
No doubt. I'm just saying, you get in the wind tunnel, you get it close, and then you dial it into each specific racetrack, and they got it working here.
Riding with the Heilig Myers car, number 90. Bobby Hillen giving you these pictures from 21st position. More from the Charlotte Motor Speedway on TBS after these messages.
While everyone talks about how racing technology makes their street cars better, there isn't a car company today that brings more race-winning technology to the street than Chevrolet.
The driver who plans ahead usually comes out ahead too. That's why it's smart to change your oil every 3,000 miles.
And shop Walmart for savings every day.
Save on Castrol GTX motor oil. It provides maximum protection against viscosity and thermal breakdown. And Castrol Syntec, a full synthetic oil that protects in ways other oils can't.
So no matter where you're headed, head first to Walmart,
where the prices are always going down. Walmart, always the low price, always.
The legend of the Colonel's rotisserie gold is the talk of Lake Edna. You should hear what they're saying about the deep marination, the slow roasting, that special blend of herbs and spices, and the golden brown color. But 5-year-old Allie put it best when she said, the Colonel's rotisserie gold in quarters, halves, and wholes. At KFC, we do chicken right.
Hey, Mike, hand me my channel lock pliers.
Tommy, hand me that plier over there with the blue handles. What kind of pliers is that? These are channel lock tone and groove pliers. My dad uses them on his race car, too.
For the tough jobs and the small jobs, reach for Channel Lock, the handiest plier of them all.
Hey, guys, anybody seen the channel lock pliers?
Channel Lock. Be sure you're getting genuine Channel Lock pliers. Look for this trademark.
Could be fuel.
Promotional fees and consideration have been paid by First Brands Corporation, the makers of STP engine treatment. Help stop engine wear before you start. And by Heilig Myers Furniture Company, the proud sponsors of Bobby Hillen's Ford Thunderbird. And by True Value Hardware Stores. Got a tough job to do? They'll see you through it. You can do it with True Value Hardware Stores.
91 laps, 136.5 miles completed at an average speed of 162 miles an hour. Ernie Irvan setting those records. Old record 153 for the 500-mile distance as you watch Darrell Waltrip here in car number 17 running in 24th. He is a lap down. Waltrip falling a lap down in the early going. Now at lap 87, Ernie Irvan moved out to lap Ken Schrader. Pulled that off. Schrader gave him a bit of a fight. Then, on lap 89, Harry Gant fell off his perch, going down the back straightaway. Just backed right up in front of 2 cars, nearly got collected. He's come into the pits. He's back on the track. Let's get more on the story.
Yes, I've talked with Charlie Presley. Harry Gant cut down a right front tire. Everything's okay with the car. Just cut a tire down.
Thank you, Johnny Hayes.
I tell you what, if you cut down a right front tire and not hit the wall here, they got things going in their direction.
Had the right saying.
Usually a right front here means a big right front dent. Look, he didn't get in the wall.
Saw the 17 car there for a moment, just in front of Gant, who is now back in 35th position. Gant's falling a lap down. He's got some running to do to get himself back in that lead lap. But there's one guy that can get it done here. The last man to win the pole and win this race, Harry Gant, 1982.
There's a guy that not can get it done, but is getting it done. They're going to have to make him repaint that line. He's wearing the bottom line out. And then there's Dale Jarrett directly in front of him. He's in 12th place. Last guy in the lead lap. And that's going to make it 11 cars in the lead. Saw that wiggle off of Jarrett's car when he got behind him there. Just 11 cars left in the lead lap now.
Rick Mast, car number 1 on pit road.
So it's going to make it 10 cars in the lead lap because Mast was the 11th car. So makes Ricky Rudd the guy in front of him he's shooting at.
Here's Kyle Petty in second spot. Here's Dick Berger.
Randy Pemberton, so much of the talk before this race was about the problems the Pontiacs might have, but here you are in second. What's cooking?
I don't know. We got a real good stop that time and gained a couple of spots. The overcast skies really helped us because we're not abusing the tires very much. Ernie still outruns us about 2/10 a lap, and thank God he's run into a lot of traffic so far. So maybe we can work on it later and make a run at him, but we'll see.
I'd say that thing is running a lot better than his expression would indicate.
You're exactly right, Dick Bergeron. They had a good stop, but he started way back in 30-something position and moved up to 4th on the green before that stop. So they got a good stop on him, but he's handling that wheel. He rated it 10th. I'd rate him about 2nd right now. He's moving up to the front.
Diet makes a difference. Somebody better check out a little restaurant in upstate New York that Pemberton just saw. It's his brother who is working the garage area for us today. Those kids know a whole lot about racing, and they love it. They came out of the Albany-Saratoga Speedway years ago. Of course, Saratoga's a big racing part of the country for thoroughbreds, but all they wanted were thoroughbred modifieds in their younger days. And some of those great modern stars of bygone days, Don McTavish and Bugsy Stevens and Renee Charland used to hang around that restaurant, and those kids, when they were tiny, said someday we're going to be in it. Alan Pemberton is the guy responsible now for the Felix Savetus number 42 for crewing that car. And so some of the credit today certainly goes to him.
See what I was telling you about Kyle? If we can run that shot over right now, I promise you, 100 miles from now, if that car is working, that's where Kyle will be. He runs that bottom. He doesn't abuse those tires. He'll ease her in there. He'll stay right on that line, and then he'll feed that throttle up off there. That thing of his runs on the bottom all day. They got it just like he wants it.
They look about as calm and collected as Kyle. The crew for Kyle Petty looking on as he tries to close on Ernie Irvan, but nobody's getting much of him today. He has just checked out. See you later. How about a battle for 4th?
There's Bill Elliott and Earnhardt. Bill's been running high all day. We talked earlier that he had moved up in a real high groove around the racetrack. Bill had a lot of success here with that high line. He's working up there again. Earnhardt's coming under him right here. But Elliott's car should drive in this corner on that outside. Of course, he slides up a little bit right there. Two totally different lines around this track.
100 laps are complete, Neil. 150 miles are down, and nary a caution to date. Averaging 162, well over the old record. Ernie Irvan in command here at Charlotte in the 34th running of the Mellow Yellow 500.
Hey, racing fans, Budweiser asks, who won? May the 12th, 1984 at Nashville International Raceway, 420 laps under the lights. Joe Waltrip in the 11 car started on the pole and seemed to be unstoppable that night. But Richard Petty in the familiar 43 and the 12 car of Neil Bonnet were battling their way to the front two into contention for the victory. Also following close behind Waltrip, Ron Bouchard in the 47. Bouchard in position to win throughout the night. And Jeff Bodine in the 5 car was also a strong contender. He was looking for his second career Winston Cup victory. But who won the finish to this remarkable event in a moment.
Tonight.
Are you aware it was your knife that was used to kill him?
Perry Mason, primetime movie mysteries on TBS.
I'm going to need all the background you can get me on the students in my class.
Perry goes back to school to solve a murder.
One of us is the killer. Right. You plagiarized that paper from him, did you not? We're missing something.
Watch Perry Mason, primetime movie mysteries. 7 Eastern tonight on TBS.
The name True Value on my store gives me a good feeling. It means I give my neighborhood a lot more than hardware. I'm here with the right answers, the right products, and true values.
Like the October True Value of the Month, this First Alert smoke and fire detector. It comes with a 9-volt battery, and the light test feature lets you check the power with a flashlight. In October, it's just $7.99 while quantities last.
You know, the name says it all. True Value.
If you're looking into faucets, Peerless means plenty. America's leading do-it-yourself faucet. In hundreds of styles and finishes. All made with solid brass valve construction. And all warranty for as long as you own your home. The best made, best back do-it-yourself faucets in America. That's what Peerless means.
If you picked Darrell Waltrip, you're right. Here's how the event unfolded. Waltrip and Neil Bonnet and the Junior Johnson cars stole the show from the rest of the pack. They battled back and forth and led all but 3 of the final 184 laps at Nashville. With 2 to go, caution on the speedway. A crash involving Rusty Wallace in the 88, Bobby Allison in the 22 car, and then Kyle Petty in the 7 all getting involved. Well, after the leader Waltrip had already taken the yellow flag, Bonnet zipped around him and was flagged the winner. 2 days later, though, NASCAR ruled Waltrip the winner, saying that Bonnet illegally passed under the caution flag. Who Won is brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers, with that clean, crisp, cold taste. Nothing beats a Bud.
Well, welcome back to the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Lap 107. Ernie Irvan still doing it out there. Nothing going on in the garage area. Totally lonely. Thank God I have a television monitor. But this is the inspection station. This is where they're going to bring the top 5 cars plus one other car at random after this race is over to tear them all down. And kind of looks like Ernie Irvan will be in here, among others. But nothing going on in the garage area. Maybe that's because these guys are able to get out of the throttle a little bit right now, saving on those engines. But we got a long way to go. We're going to see some people in here, no doubt about it. Rick Benjamin.
Oh, Randy Pemberton, we're here in the SDP Pit Communication Center with a young driver who many people have expected to move up to Winston Cup racing the last couple of years. It's finally going to happen for Steve Grissom. Congratulations. What was your announcement today?
Thanks, Rick. I tell you, this is a super opportunity for Steve Grissom to be teamed up with Carolyn and Gary Bechtel at Diamond Ridge Racing. They really took the right steps, got the right people in place, and we're looking forward to 94.
You're going to have Mark Reno as your crew chief on a team that's really got some Winston Cup experience.
That's true. Mark's going to be the crew chief. Eddie Jones will be the team manager, and running Hendricks Motors, and got some of their people kind of the management part of it. But, something we're looking forward to. Really got the key ingredients there, and we're just going to give it all we got next year.
Let's call your new car owner in Gary Bechtel. This is a big step for your operation. You've been active in Winston West and a few Winston Cup races.
Yes, we are. We're very excited with Steve's hooking up with us. We're going to try to go after the Winston West Championship next year with John Krebs and Steve coming on board out here. We're really excited about what we can do.
All right, good luck to you, Steve Grissom, currently the Busch Grand National point leader. Hope you can win a championship there.
All right, thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Gary Bechtel is in construction business, they say. Some construction. Isn't that the guy that built the tunnel from France under the English Channel over to Great Britain?
One of the biggest construction companies in the world. Yeah. But I've got to tell you what, y'all held me off the air a long time after he showed that finish at Nashville, and I still think I won that race. Y'all say what you want to say.
Give it up. Give it up. How many years ago was that?
It doesn't matter. I don't care if it's 30 years ago, I think I still won.
110 laps are complete here today. Neil Bonnet alongside. I knew that was going to cause trouble if they showed that thing. See, they didn't tell him they were going to do it. And the minute you get that one up, it's like a red flag in front of Bonnet.
I'll be back in a minute. I'm going over NASCAR.
111 laps are complete. Here's Rick Wilson bringing the STP car down pit road. We now have 8 cars in the lead lap. They are Irvan first, Kyle Petty second, Mark Martin third, Earnhardt fourth, Jeff Gordon fifth, Elliott, Rusty Wallace, and Greg Sachs. They stay the top 8. 1 lap down in 9th is Ricky Rudd, followed by Dale Jarrett, Ken Schrader,
Marlin is in 12th. Lake Speed 13th. Brett Bodine is 14th. Jeff Bodine is 15th. Terry Labonte is 16th. Strickland 17th. Hillen 18th. Trickle and Darrell Waltrip round out the top 20. Jimmy Spencer was just back in the pits. He's gone another lap down. He shows 2 laps away in 21st, followed by Wally Dallenbach 22nd. Then the Wilson car that we just had on pit road 23rd. And Morgan Shepherd, Rick Mast, Rich Bickle, Mayfield running 27th, number 95. Michael Waltrip 28th, and Harry Gant is back to 29th after he had that flow when he had a tire go down on him up in turn number 2, and how he didn't get it the walls beyond us. Great run. Heilig Meyer's car giving us a great platform to watch Dale Earnhardt running in 3rd spot, closing down. Bobby Hillen giving you these pictures. And you see Earnhardt right down on that stripe, just holds it right there. Your old hunting buddy's looking pretty good, even though he's getting covered over by Ernie Irvan.
I tell you, he was looking good that day at 28 car. It's hard to believe how he's at. There's Earnhardt staying in that low line right there. Hillen saw him coming. A lot quicker car. Give him that running room. Now the key is to get right back in behind there and try to go with him. You start fighting a lot, both of you lose ground. Now the deal is to fall right back in behind him and try to follow him and get a little bit of pull for a while. See Hillen drop back in behind Earnhardt. That's the smartest thing to do, to pull over, let him go, and try to go with him.
Yeah.
68 car coming down pit road. Greg Saxon, he was in 8th position. He was the last guy in the lead lap. He's coming down pit road.
Michael Waltrip right with him in the Penzo car. The country time 68 is in. Here's Dick Burton.
Well, this is by far the best run Greg Saxon's ever had in Charlotte. His best finish in this race so far, and 11th. They have just added a new crew chief to this team, Dennis Connor, and he has made a huge difference. The team is all smiles this morning. They thought they had a shot to win it, and they just might. 21.9, good pit stop for this crew.
So we're getting back toward a pit stop period of the race with 116 laps now complete of the 334 to the run. From the Charlotte Motor Speedway, some great aerials being provided by Rebestas, the best in brakes. Back shortly.
Robert, we're ready.
Okay. Get it warmed up?
Yeah.
Before a Robert Yates engine makes it to the track, it's torture tested right here.
Well, let's do it.
And there's only one motor oil Yates relies on for complete protection. Haviland Formula 3. The same Haviland Formula 3 you can buy right off the shelf.
215 degrees, 8,700.
That's race ready.
Haviland Formula 3 motor oil from Texaco.
It's running like a winner. That'll get the job done.
Think of all this as a large block of ice. Think of this as a chip off the old block. Coors Light's aged ice cold. So when you think of ice, think of the silver bullet. The only way to chill.
More Americans trust Napa for everything they need to keep their vehicles running and to help them save, too. Get this Napa Power Battery for just $29.99 after rebate. An Evercraft 30-piece socket set is just $14.99. And a 3-pack of STP gas treatment is a low $1.99. So run into your nearest Napa Auto Parts store today.
We keep America running. We keep America running.
Mike's something. Yeah, he believes in exercise, eating a good breakfast, and he's into leather.
Get into leather. English leather.
Hey, use a spark plug that's tested to fire clean for 30,000 miles. Motorcraft. Motorcraft quality parts. From Ford.
Mark Martin coming onto pit road in lap 120. We've completed 180 miles. Consider this, with all cars still running the event, one of the point contenders, as you see the leaders here, Irvan, Petty, Martin, Dale Earnhardt, and Jeff Gordon, experiencing trouble
weigh very heavily today with all these guys out here running. Mark Martin going all the way around. They're putting some more wedge in that one.
Not only that, you see the guy beating the rear spoiler up. He was changing the angle, so Mark must still be really loose. They're doing a couple of 3 different things at a time to try to fix that car. Good stop.
20 and 9/10 seconds. Excellent stop for Gordon, trying to make up a little time. Coming down pit road, Jeff Gordon in car number 24.
Leaders starting to come in. They're all coming in early. They're not going long runs like we thought they would. See him beating the rear spoiler up. That guy holding the gas can, taking his right hand and knocking that rear spoiler up, trying to nail the back of that car down a little bit more. Well, he got one out of line. So you have to, that center section, you want to keep it even across through there.
If any of those point leaders have trouble, Neil, in this race, with all of these cars still running, is going to be a remarkable change in the points. If anybody should fall out in the next 30 or 40 miles, I mean, you've still got so many cars out here.
Yeah, nobody in the garage here. We just said, Randy, you might as well go ahead and have that surgery. Don't look like you don't have any business in the garage.
Record for most cars running at the finish of the Vanilla Yellow 500. 4 times they've had 28 running. Everybody that started still out here, 42 strong.
Got some of the leaders coming in. Jeff Bodine, Dale Earnhardt coming down pit road. There's Earnhardt coming in. Just saw Gordon. Some of the other top drivers in.
Watch Earnhardt's crew go to work here.
They said the lug nuts fell off one of the wheels a while ago. We saw a little over 20 seconds. See if this one's any better.
Earnhardt running in third when he pitted.
Just a little bit quicker than before, 20.2. Here comes Rusty Wallace. Now he's turning down pit road. Just as Earnhardt goes out, Wallace comes in.
4th place car as he pits. In the Miller Genuine Draft car, Rusty Wallace on pit road, trying to close 72 points behind Earnhardt. If either of them have trouble today with the number of cars still out there on the field, it could make a dramatic difference in the point battle.
Yeah, you gotta be running today when this one's over, or you're going to be in trouble. Those 2 guys have got to be running when it's over.
Ricky Rudd on pit road, running a lap down in 6th position. They finish the work on Rusty Wallace.
Yep, don't think that's wrong. 18.7. I'm telling you, those guys crank those stops out for him every time.
Elliott comes onto pit road and almost tags the 5, and here comes Ernie Irvan, the leader. Leader is in. Johnny Hayes.
Watch the Jackman on this car. First team All-Pro, the best in the business. One of the top pit crews going. This is the payoff. You had to keep that big lead. Watch them work. They're beautiful. Poetry in motion.
2 pumps on that jack. It's up there. Joey Knuckles on that left front. See the guy doing the rear. Jack down. When that jack man lets off that handle, that's the cue. Drop the clutch. He's gone. 18.3.
Nice stop. At lap 126. Kyle Petty's team in. Dick Berggren there.
Ken, this is not a good pit stop. Petty overshot his pit. They had to push the car back in order to get him lined up. It is going to be a very slow pit stop. Good thing he's got a fast car. This is the same car that led the most laps in this race last year and finished 3rd in it. Petty's gone. Slow stop, though.
Dick, not only did the 42 have trouble, we told Bill Elliott came down pit road 32 seconds in the pits. I'm not sure what happened. I see Junior Johnson, the NASCAR inspectors, in a big argument on pit road.
Junior and the 11 car and the 5 nearly got ruffled there, and there may be a penalty coming up on car number 11. Let's get one of the pit reporters down there with Junior's crew right off. You can see the debate still going on.
That's not a debate. That's an argument, I believe. Ken, I think they're going at it.
There's Junior.
Yeah, he just crawled back over the wall. When I looked down, Junior was on the other side of the fence, and he was helping with this argument. I'm not sure what's up. We saw him come down. We saw the 5 car, and they had to dodge him. That might be the problem. He's trying to tell Junior, I got it straightened out.
Looked to me like you're saying, Junior, I didn't get it straightened out. It's your turn.
Yeah, but you got to give Junior some kind of an answer, I promise.
I tell you what, a story like that, that's where you need Johnny Hayes. Put John down there and see what happened. Here's the 11. That's the Junior Johnson car. John?
I wouldn't want to be the NASCAR official down here, buddy. They call for too many men over the wall, but they're in total disagreement. Everybody got back, so You got it on TV. I don't know, but I wouldn't like to be the guy that standing in front of Junior Johnson's mic beam.
Well, it looks at the time like they won the battle because I don't see any kind of black flag or anything on the 11 car, so maybe they got the point across how many they had over.
We're coming to lap 130 of the 334 to be run. If you're just joining us, nary a sign of caution thus far in the race. 195 miles. Let's look again at this car number 11, the Budweiser car, making its pit stop. You see him getting trapped there by Ricky Rudd coming out for a moment, gets himself in. Now you count them.
Trying to count heads here. Henry Benefield coming over with a gas can. They let one guy clean the windshield. That's the only thing I see.
Al Jr. straps back on the headset. He'll have a word with Bill about it and tell him what he thinks. Probably in about 3 words. Back in a moment.
Tonight, from a land of scarcity comes an amazing discovery. A 400-year-old Spanish galleon loaded with New World riches. Cuba's lost treasure on National Geographic Explorer. Tonight at 9 Eastern, exclusively on TBS.
You protect yourself inside your car. Protect yourself under the hood, too.
Walmart helps you take care of your car and your budget.
Haviland Formula 3 provides complete engine protection. Or try Haviland Synthetic Motor Oil for better protection for the long run. Either way, you add more life to your car.
And because we always sell for less, Walmart's better protection, too.
Like a seatbelt for your wallet. Walmart. Always the low price. Always.
My dandruff shampoo is good.
Better try something else. Mine really works.
You'd better try something else, like Selsun Blue. Doctors recommend it more than all leading brands. Selsun Blue. Doctor recommended #1.
One oil filter traps 80% more dirt than the leading competitor. Clearly, that's Motorcraft. Motorcraft quality parts from Ford.
Pollen, smog, colds, known causes of itchy, burning eyes. The answer? Clear Eyes ACR. Soothing, cooling, allergy, cold, relief from Clear Eyes.
When a man ran a grueling 26-mile marathon in a pair of dress shoes, what was he thinking? He was thinking, I'm glad they're Rockports. Rockport, you should be in our shoes.
At 180 miles an hour, Darrell Waltrip can't afford a bad part.
Ouch, man, that hurt. Like you, I need quality parts at the right price. And at Western Auto, we guarantee it. You'll find thousands of top name brand parts, all backed by Western Auto's unbeatable everyday low price guarantee. Right?
Right, DW. Pick up Castro GTX at Western Auto's low price. Castro GTX provides maximum protection against viscosity and thermal breakdown.
The right parts, unbeatable low prices. At Western Auto, we guarantee it.
Right, DW.
Derek Cope takes you for a 170-mile-an-hour ride around the high banks of Charlotte Motor Speedway during the Mellow Yellow 500. There's Cope working down low into the corner number 2 out onto the back straightaway. Great to have you along for the ride today on TBS. I'm Rick Benjamin in the STP Pit Communication Center. We've talked a lot today about the point battle. Only 3 more Winston Cup races to go this year after today's event. 72 points, the point margin between Dale Earnhardt and Rusty Wallace at this point. Dale Jarrett in 3rd spot right now, about 300 points behind. He's been very consistent. Mark Martin rode all the way to 4th off those 4 victories in a row a few weeks ago. Morgan Shepherd, another picture of consistency in 5th. Then Kyle Petty. We're going to show you the next 6. Kenny Schrader's been very consistent. Ernie Irvan, who's had 2 rides but has done very well. Elliott, Rudd, Gordon, Jimmy Spencer, unheralded in many respects. Very consistent year for him, too, and he is rounding out the top 12.
Thanks, Rick Benjamin. We've completed 136 laps, 204 miles. The average speed stays at 161. It's a killer speed for this race. 153, the old record. And there you see the guy who's doing it all, Ernie Irvan, for the moment.
This guy and 3 more have completed 136. The rest of them have done 135. I'm telling you, this knee is wearing them out. He's getting the whole field just about a lap down at the pace he's running. He has 5 cars in the lead lap. Excuse me, 7 cars in the lead lap right now.
Martin, Kyle Petty, Earnhardt, Gordon, Spencer in 5th, being shown in that lead lap. Rusty Wallace in 6th, and 7th, Ernie Irvan. Now that's a weird recall because that's not what it is on the racetrack at all. Those are the cars that they are showing in the lead lap. Now let's go back to how they run. Ernie Irvan first, Mark Martin, Kyle Petty, Dale Earnhardt, Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Spencer, and Rusty Wallace complete the top 7.
Yeah, Rusty's the last guy in the lead lap.
Here's Dick Berger.
Major story on the number 28, the leader, Ernie Irvan, Ken Squire. He started missing about 2 laps ago. They switched ignition boxes. It has not helped. The engine still missing. That's what they were worried about before the start of the race, the engine.
Well, I tell you what, Dick, he's still cranking out some fast laps, but if he's calling for a miss in that thing, there must be something wrong. But that thing of Yates might be just as good on 7 as the rest of them are on 8.
It certainly appears that way. I think they're trying to psych him. I mean, he's drawing away from everybody out here. Here's Johnny Hayes.
Again, we've had a major weather change. It was hot and sunny. Now it's cloudy. Temperatures dropped about 10 degrees. I used to own a Winston Cup car. Benny Parsons drove for me. We almost lapped the field in the first half of the race here. Turned cloudy. We had trouble holding on to the lead lap. Pit crews are going to have to get real busy.
I'll tell you what happens when something like this does occur with the overcast coming in. Sometimes you'll see a different cast of characters go to the front. A guy's car that was too loose while ago now might get too tight in this cloud. So we'll have to see if anything changes with the leaders moving up through the field.
141 laps are complete. Most cars running at the finish on a super speedway. 50.
How many?
50.
I mean, they start 100.
75.
Okay.
1950, 7,500 down there at Darlington.
I don't know if I'd want to go home and tell him about a qualified 74, but I still wasn't on the rear. I'm trying to watch the 28 cars while we're watching this right here to see if he's losing pace. Here he comes. Look at, he says he's got a miss in the car, but that's some good race cars. He's still going around.
Yeah, he's got 20 seconds on the field. Here he is up on Jimmy Spencer.
Well, he's coming around.
That's a 7th place car he's about to lap.
Yeah, he's going around Spencer.
Race car, that's a mowing machine.
Let me tell you what, if he's got a miss, the only thing he's missing is the true story here. That thing sure looks stout to me.
Mark Martin's 2nd spot. Kyle Petty is 3rd. Jeff Gordon, who's set on the pole, is back in 5th position. 500 miles the distance. Oh, we got a car in the wall.
Coming off 4.
Sliding,
Todd
spinning,
Bodine.
and he's all the way around to that Raymock car. Collecting the wall a 2nd time. First caution of the day comes at lap 143 of 334 to be run. Caution out for the first time.
Boy, Rusty Wallace was right on the verge of being lapped. The 12 is beating the 28 back to the line. 28 had to live 12, beat him back. Also, it was the 12 and the 2 that got a reprieve with that caution. Rusty was fixing to go down, but that's what it takes for a championship. Good cars, good luck.
So there you see Todd Bodine taking the Raymock car back to the garage. We actually have a 2nd car back there. We say that everybody's running. 85 they're working on. It hasn't come out in some time. But that 75 looks badly bashed. Let's take a look at what happened.
It's going to happen coming off turn 4. See if we can pick him up. Oh, the car gets loose. We'll see the back end come out. He's going to correct to the right. Wham! Right at the camera. Took the right front back off the car. And he goes across track. Watch these guys behind him now. You got a couple of people that are going to pass him high. We see the 68 car of Greg Sachs cutting through the grass. There's Bill Elliott coming along.
Now watch
Mike
Spencer.
Waldrop. Boy, I tell you what, he got it out by the wall and kept it out there. But while this was going on, Spencer was able to beat the 28 back to the line. Also, Rusty Wallace.
Here's the 28 car on pit road. Let's go to Dick Berger.
Well, Ken Squire, they were just as confused here on pit road as we were in the broadcast because they heard the same stuff we were hearing, which is Ernie Irvan saying the car has a miss. He switched the boxes. That made no difference. Then he switched the coils on this thing, and that seemed to cure it. Yeah. So the problem has gone away. Right now, they're in the process of a 4-tire change here. The hood is going to stay down, and there are a lot more smiles in the 28 pit right now than about 2 laps ago.
Yeah, they have dual ignitions in these cars, dual coils, dual electric boxes and everything, and the driver can switch it from in the driver's seat. So I guess he's changed everything and got it working.
All right, let's see if we can get a word right now with the man who has dominated the race, Ernie Irvan. Ernie, Ken Squire at TBS Control. Do you read us? Ernie?
He's going up through the gears. I don't know if you can hear us.
Gets himself onto the back straightaway here. We'll try again in a moment to get him. 145 laps are now complete. 217.5 miles down. And the 500 to be run today. Moving toward halfway. First caution of the day comes out for young Bodine.
The Mellow Yellow 500 is brought to you by Budweiser. Fresh, pure, natural, proud to be your Bud.
Robert, all we need here is some oil and we'll be ready to crank.
Okay.
Jeff, get us suitcases. I have one.
Yes, sir, right away.
Robert, we're out. Get us suitcases and fly.
There's only one motor oil that Robert Yates Racing relies on for complete protection. Haviland Formula 3 from Texaco.
That was quick.
Yeah, they had it right down the street.
The same Haviland Formula 3 you can use in your car.
Get a free Burger King meal when you buy a case of Haviland Formula 3. But hurry, a deal this tasty can't last long.
Need a fresh start? Get the battery that's proven to start over 50,000 times. Motorcraft. Motorcraft quality parts from Ford.
Ray Bestis has the right brake for you, no matter what car you drive. Ray Bestis, the best in brakes. For the nearest Ray Bestis parts store or installer, call 1-800-4-RAY-BESTIS.
Do you add a tip when you pay your taxes? Use lots of stamps when you only need one? Well, your brand is probably on this table, next to mine. Both brands protect to 84 below zero. Boil-over protection? Identical. And both protect all metals. There is one important difference. Either this one costs about $1 more, or this one costs about $1 less. Peak. Maximum everything except the price.
Observe dry eyes, red eyes, symptoms for which science created Clear Eyes. Unlike the other leading eye drop, Clear Eyes removes redness and as an ingredient to moisturize. The difference is clear. Clear Eyes.
147 laps, 220 miles down. And let's get the story of what happened to Todd Bodine right from the man himself.
Our cameras. Here we see the car. This is after he spun, coming back across the track. Right in the outside wall.
Ooh. Butch Mock's car. I say Ray Mock. Butch Mock taking over that team. Heads forward. Caution stays out on the track. Michael Waltrip is in. We'll be going down to Todd Bodine in just a moment, standing by down there after he took that hit. We're getting ready for a restart, and let us set it for you right now. 148 complete when they come to the line. Ernie Irvan will be leading. Kyle Petty will be in second. Mark Martin will be third. Earnhardt fourth. Gordon fifth. Rusty Wallace sixth. Spencer in seventh. Those are the cars in the lead lap after that daring move by Spencer in the Meineke car to get himself back in the lead lap. Eighth is Ricky Rudd, a lap down, followed by Bill Elliott ninth. Sterling Marlin 10th. 11th is Schrader. 12th is Sachs. And we have Dale Jarrett 13th, Lake Speed 14th, Jeff Bodine 15th, Terry Labonte 16th, and Rick Mast. Light is off on the pace car as we get ready for another go here. The late stop by Michael Waltrip has him playing catch-up. He's driving quickly around the track. Joe Nemechek brings number 4 down pit road, gets himself set for a last-moment stop. Darrell Waltrip back in 23rd position. Darrell Waltrip, couple of laps down. Here's Dick Bergman.
Ken, the real problem with the 28 car, believe it or not, is there's a whole bunch of switches on the dashboard of that thing that control the ignition system. Ernie Irvan hasn't been driving that car long enough to know what all the switches are for. So he's been fumbling around trying to figure out which one it was. They think it's the coil switch that fixed it. They have a new coil ready. It will go in the car if they have further problems. At the moment, it's okay, but that's why there was confusion.
I tell you, Dick, that's easy to do because you have a ignition box 1, coil 1. You got to get the right set of sequences, and I can understand him being new with it and having that problem.
Flag is down, field is away. Let's see if Kyle can close in at all. Ricky Rudd trying to get back the lap. Goes right down to the bottom with Mark Martin. Two of them trying to pace themselves here. Martin trying to pull up. He is in third spot. He's picked up the spot. Tight running as they get into turn number 3. Here comes Ernie Irvan out in front. Mark Martin. The second. Kyle falling back a bit here. Kyle back 2 spots. Martin and Earnhardt both go by him. On board with Bobby Hillin.
Well, Kyle, something's happened. Kyle was on the right side of the start. Fell way back. He's still dropping back. And Phil Elliott around. 12 car. Spencer.
Back to 7th goes Kyle. That is the battle for 6. And Spencer has it. Kyle was right up there on the restart in the runner-up position. Not true anymore. Kyle's still falling back.
I'm not so sure Kyle's back down where he runs good on the inside. He got caught outside. That might be what hurt him.
Now take a look at your favorite car here as they go into turn number 1. Actually out of that dog leg and into 1. Meanwhile, back straightaway. Ricky Rudd in 8th position, trying to get that lap back. Forms his own team next year. Very close to announcing a crew chief. Here's Earnhardt to the outside around Mark Martin. Back to 3rd, to 2nd storms Earnhardt. Martin falls to 3rd. Well, right now, Ernie Irvan's not getting away. Ricky Rudd's hanging on to him pretty stout.
Yeah, Rudd's trying to get that lap back. The car's real strong. He's got Earnhardt behind him. See if the 2 of these guys can do anything with Irvan.
Nobody has been able to overtake Ernie Irvan all day. It's been all his own way. He's blitzed the field. But for the moment, he seems to be contained. Earnhardt drafting with Ricky Rudd. And that combination Chevy's trying to pull down the Yates Ford Thunderbird. The Ford stays in front as it has all day. But for the first time, it's under some pressure. Ernie Irvan in front. Ernie, you've adjusted to your new ride faster than anyone could predict.
Basically, I think a lot of it revolves around it's such a good race team, and I got a lot of experience, a lot of the tracks that when you get, those things together, then it doesn't take long. Larry McReynolds has really done a great job of working with me and just giving me the right setups when we get there. We don't change much. So a lot of that probably revolves around all the testing he did with Davey.
Back straightaway, Earnhardt has moved around Rudd, and now he's ready to challenge. Rudd falling back, trying to make up that lap, but now he finds himself about 15 car lengths behind, and here comes Earnhardt moving in. Is anyone going to overtake Ernie Irvan here today? We could find out on the next 5 laps. We're at lap 156. Closing in on the halfway mark. 234 miles are now complete.
The 28 has led every lap but 1, but that was because of the cautions and different things. But I tell you, he's led every lap. No one's been able to take that lead.
That race summary is going to be a short summation. All Irvan and 1 caution. Speed stays at 153.296. That's about where the record is. They can build from here. Now Ernie Irvan draws away. See it build back to 10, 12 car lengths.
That's the way he was able to do earlier in the race. Just gradually pick a little bit of distance on him. Earnhardt really drive down hard at 3. Gained a little bit of ground there, but the 28 is strong up off that corner. See Earnhardt close it up going in the corner. 28 stretches it down the straightaway.
There's Schrader in the 25. He's back in 11th position, 1 lap down. Sterling Marlin, the 8, right with him, getting around him. Kyle Petty's 42 is in 7th, and he still seems to be stumbling a bit here.
Yes, fell back a little bit. Here we see the leaders again. See Earnhardt close the gap as they enter the corner. He's able to close down a little bit, and then the 28 car up front can pull him just down the straightaway enough that he gets that distance back. Let's follow him around again. That seems to be the characteristic. Earnhardt getting in the corner hard here. Can close up a little bit of ground, and watch his 28 when he comes up this back straightaway.
And you know why Earnhardt is pressing so hard as we come toward halfway.
Needs 5 bonus points. Watch the distance right here as they enter the 3rd turn. You see him try to close it down going in. See, close that gap up going in the corner through the middle, and then he's been losing the distance back down this straightaway. Yeah, it's critical. He'd like to lead a lap for that points battle, just like Rusty Wallace is wanting to get up there if he can and lead every point. So we're coming up on a lap car right here. Now the 28 up a little bit, a critical spot. See Earnhardt close him up. That little bit of lift off the throttle, put him right on him.
Earnhardt to the inside, desperately wanting. There aren't many bonus points. Most laps led will give you 5 points. Leading any lap would give a guy 5 points, but only 5. Coming down to the line, they're side by side. Here's Earnhardt trying to get him. Well, I don't think he made it. He was there. That's for first place.
Keep in mind when we watch this about leading a lap, it's not scored at the start-finish line until the checkered flag. The scoring is done off of turn 4 at the line up until the last lap. So he's got to lead back around this lap.
Indeed. Good point, and he's coming around this time. It's right as you come off 4 until that last lap. Or, in the matter of scoring them.
Right there.
Right there.
Just as they went across, the scoring stand is down there. All scoring done there until the last lap.
Except if you're making up a lap.
Yeah, if you're making a lap at the start-finish line.
18th race that Earnhardt has led this year out of the 26 previous. We're in race number 27.
Maybe we need to get Dick Berggren or somebody back in the 28 pits and see if that miss has come back, or has Earnhardt picked up the pace.
Earnhardt leading for the first time this afternoon. Irvan in 2nd. This race with this many cars running, we only have 2 cars back. The Butch Mock car, Bodine in the 85, and let's see where the 85 is. We need to check on 85. I think Sauter has come back out many laps down, but he's running, so only 1 have fallen out. If either Wallace or Earnhardt should have a problem here, it would make a major difference in the point battle. 3 races to go. Rockingham, North Carolina, then Phoenix, Arizona, and finally November 14th, Atlanta, Georgia. Now there's Rusty Wallace, who is running in 5th. Remember, he is running in the lead lap. Earnhardt, Irvan, Mark Martin, Jeff Gordon, Rusty Wallace make up the top 5. So what do you think? Ooh, look at this. Right back comes Ernie Irvan another time. For first.
Yeah, I was wondering if he had a miss or something. It looks like that thing's not missing much. He's coming back. Let's go down to Johnny Hayes.
Yes, I just talked with Robert Yates. He said the car still has a slight hesitation or miss, plus the weather conditions made the car start pushing. The cloudiness is making these cars push, and so it has affected them somewhat.
That might answer for the reason that we've seen people be able to stay with a 28 more so than the first of the race. At the first, nobody could touch him.
Now take a look at the top 5 and the interval between them as they come around here. Irvan going back in front and stretching to a 10-car length advantage. Earnhardt stays in 2nd. Now let's look back and see what the difference is. 166 complete. Next time by, it's 10 laps to halfway. Well, there you see the interval from the leader, Dale Earnhardt, back to Rusty Wallace. We'll have more from the Mellow Yellow 500 in Charlotte after these messages.
tonight.
Are you aware it was your knife that was used to kill him?
Perry goes back to school to nab a killer. Watch Perry Mason Primetime Movie Mysteries. 7 Eastern tonight on TBS.
It seems these days folks are taking a new look at their priorities. With that in mind, Chevy brings you the roomiest full-size pickup ever made, so that family can come first and work second. The extended cab from Chevrolet. Chevy, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road.
When 280 seemed out of reach, it's Joe Amato and Autolite who punch it. The wall goes to 290. Connie Coletta and Autolite smash it. 300, the barrier. Kenny Bernstein and Autolite shatter it. Autolite and the Record Breakers. Wow! I feel good! We feel pretty good about that.
Hey, use a spark plug that's tested to fire clean for 30,000 miles. Motorcraft. Motorcraft quality parts from Ford.
At Charlotte Motor Speedway in the Mellow Yellow 500. You're watching Ernie Irvan battling with Dale Earnhardt. And what a contest it is at the mid-distance of this 500-mile, 334-lap contest. Battle continues around the track, and at this point, it's a Ford-Chevy contest. Rest of the race is very stable for the moment. Earnhardt came up, gave Irvan a very good run, now is settled back into second place. Earlier this week, U.S. Air Force Reserve Commander's Performance Award was given by Lieutenant Colonel Ron Hall to Jeff Gordon.
Hi, racing fans. This is Lieutenant Colonel Ron Hall presenting another Air Force Reserve Commander's Performance Award. But before I do, I wish to say that because of budget restraints, I regret that this will be the Air Force Reserve's last presentation. From the depth of my heart, I wish to thank Ken Squire and his staff and all you racing fans out there for what has been a tremendous 7 years for me and 10 years for the Air Force Reserve. Now for today's events, with me today to receive the Commander's Performance Award is Mr. Jeff Gordon. Jeff, congratulations on your winning the pole for the Mellow Yellow 500. Jeff, this award is very special for the Air Force Reserve because it recognizes individuals who have exceptional leadership and talent while participating in a team sport. Jeff started racing at the age of 5. He's come up through the midget circuit into the Grand Nationals. Now he's in the Winston Cup. Jeff, the Air Force Reserve is excited about your future. Please accept this award on behalf of the Air Force Reserve.
Thank you. I'd just like to thank the Air Force for their involvement in racing. I think it's very exciting. I'm very honored and very proud to receive this award. Thank you.
Good recipient, Jeff Gordon, running fourth at the present time, set on the pole at 177 miles an hour, the 22-year-old from Pittsburgh, Indiana. He's just behind Ernie Irvan, Dale Earnhardt, and Mark Martin. Pretty good company for a kid from Indiana these days. And Hoosier now out of Indiana, originally California lad. There's Roger Penske, Don Miller right to his right. And Don Miller, of course, the man who is directly in charge of car number 2. Roger Penske overseeing that car, and I'm sure he's giving some instructions up there.
Hey, I tell you what, that's just like Roger Penske. He could have any seat in the house, and he's standing up on the roof watching his race car run.
Well, if the race ended right now with Earnhardt second and Wallace back there, Dale would gain 20 points, Wallace in fifth, and that would stretch that lead back to 92 points. But we're at half distance, and there's a long way to go in this one. As they say, something's got to give. You can't have these many cars running this. Why do you feel, Neil, that we're not seeing the kind of attrition that we've seen before? We've had one car in the wall, no engine problems to speak of. We've had this little rumor about that car number 28 out in front, but they're not blowing them up today.
But that's electrical with the 28. Ken, these motors, the last 2 or 3 years here, you've been able to hold the car almost wide open. You drive it so deep in the corner, barely roll out of the throttle, get back in it, you were really abusing the motors. In turn, they built stronger and better pieces for the cars. This is actually easier on the motor. You've got a motor that's been built into, tested and built into one level of competition, and then you back that strain down on it, so they're just more bulletproof than ever. I don't know if we're going to see a lot of attrition.
Now, again, if you're just joining us, the minimum front air dam has been cut from 3.5 inches up to 5 inches. The rear spoiler, that's down from 6.5 to about, 5.7. And the minimum roof height is up an inch. And that's what they've done to try to bring these cars back, to get them more in the driver's hands. And they're having to lift a little earlier off those throttles and ease into them a little more gingerly into these corners. And the big story here is it seems to be saving motors.
Yeah, it's just not abusing them as much. Just pound, just lay it on the floor, just smash it hard as you can, drive it deep, get off, just slam the pedal to the floor. They have to use a little more finesse with how they work that throttle.
Here's Randy.
Talk about the lack of attrition, guys. Todd Bodine, of course, involved in that one-car accident. He did come up and speak with me. I said, what happened? He said, I flat lost it. He's small in stature, but it takes a big man to admit that they lost a race car. So that goes back to what Ken, you and Neil were talking about. No engine failures as to right now. Todd Bodine simply lost the car. No other related problems in that accident. So that's it. Just one car back here. Jimmy Sauter was here earlier. They broke the shock mount. He was back out.
Derek Cope giving us these pictures, traveling over 160-mile-per-hour average around the Charlotte Motor Speedway, tending right to his knitting. Here's Rick Benjamin.
Well, Ken Squire, we've been racing now for about 2 hours, and we've noticed the conditions have really changed a lot here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. We've talked about that in the last few moments. Johnny Hayes describing for us what it does to a race car, how it'll tighten up a race car. It's gotten very cloudy here. We went over to the NASCAR trailer where they keep a very close watch on the weather conditions. It's gotten very cloudy. A front has moved in, but they say there is no threat of rain. There are no thunderstorms in the area. It's cooled off, and it is darker now, but there's nothing to worry about in terms of getting the rest of the race in. So really, it's a matter of crews having to adjust to slightly different atmospheric conditions more than worrying about rain today.
25th position was Cope, running a couple of laps down with 180 of 334 now in the book. 24-degree banking, 1,500-foot straightaway, main straightaway, 1,300 feet in the backstretch. And right here where you peel off into turn number 1, considered the quickest part of the course. Ernie Irvan continuing to dominate. Here you see the 25 car, Ken Schrader fighting with Dale Jarrett. That is a struggle for 10th position. Dale Jarrett had a bad qualifying time, trying to make up for it now, and closes in on Schrader. Struggle for 10th. Another aerial camera view courtesy of Ray Bestis, the best in brakes. We'll be back with more of the Mellow Yellow 500 from Charlotte on TBS following these messages.
TBS is calling all Curlies.
What is it? What do we have to do?
It's simple. Videotape your best curly impression and send it to TBS Calling All Curlies, 1050 Techwood Drive, Atlanta, 30318. Entries must be received by October 12th. Sorry, we can't return your tape. And kids, get your parents' help. The top curlies will air on TBS during our Curly Marathon, October 22nd. So get in touch with your inner stooge. Just don't hurt yourself. Yes, TBS is calling all curlies. Enter today.
Americans have always had a love affair with their cars.
Do you love? Who do you love? Yeah, who do you love?
And when it comes to plugs and filters, we guarantee to keep that spark going for a long, long time.
Yeah, who do you love?
One oil filter traps 80% more dirt than the leading competitor. Clearly, that's Motorcraft. Motorcraft quality parts from Ford.
This is a credit card, so it's gold. Yahoo! I mean, no card is more accepted on the planet, but it doesn't make you some kind of celebrity. Actually, maybe it could. I mean, with Gold MasterCard's new Master Guest service, you can get free personal vacation planning assistance. The celebrities always have personal assistants. Master Guest can even save you up to 30% on great vacation packages. And celebrities are always getting special deals, so I guess Gold MasterCard could make you a celebrity. See you in the tabloids. Gold MasterCard, it's more than a gold card, it's smart money.
Daddy's the one?
Well, he believes in total honesty. He shares the remote control, and he's into leather. Get into leather. English leather.
Keystone Beer presents a NASCAR profile. Today, Kyle Petty. Kyle is one of the most colorful drivers on the Winston Cup circuit. On the track, he's one of the flashiest drivers there is. Through the years, he's evolved from a financially struggling driver into a contender with potential to win a Winston Cup championship. The early days were a struggle for young Kyle Petty. That's right, a struggle. Frequent mechanical failures and crashes kept him out of victory lane. And a year after Father Richard left, Petty Enterprises team was financially on the ropes. Then the Wood brothers came along and gave Kyle the opportunity to prove that he could win. In 1986, he drove to victory at Richmond. He inherited the lead after Dale Earnhardt and Darrell Waltrip tangled with 3 laps to go. Kyle's next big league stock car victory came a year later in NASCAR's longest race, the 600-miler in Charlotte. Soon after, Kyle's winning talent caught the eye of businessman Felix Sabates. In 1989, Kyle took a chance and signed with the newly formed team owned by Sabates. It turned out to be the right move, and as the years have gone by, that team has evolved into a contender for the championship. In 1993, Kyle has come on strong, winning a super speedway event at Pocono and running up front consistently. Currently, he's in the top 10 in Winston Cup points.
Kyle Petty in 6th position here as this record crowd looks on at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Sold out weeks in advance. Big crowd out yesterday. Estimate was around 70,000. Looks like you can double it today. Infield packed, those grandstands mobbed. Everyone out to enjoy a great day of racing. Get down toward the end of the season. Rockingham coming up. Then they're out to Phoenix, Arizona, to Buddy Jobe's great facility in which they've done so much in improvement. And then Atlanta, Georgia. 2nd week in November will decide the 1993 campaign. And there's a big announcement today that Toshiba is going to put up $1 million challenge in that last race. If a driver can capture that 500 on November 14th from the pole position and win the Winston Cup Championship down to a couple of guys, the whole thing's worth in excess of $2.25 million. They're calling it the Toshiba $1 Million Challenge. That is some announcement.
Let me tell you what, it can boil down to that. If, say, Rusty Wallace or Earnhardt, top guys go down there and settle on a pole and win the race, it's worth over $1 million to them. You'll be seeing some guys trying to get qualified up front down there.
Yeah, never mind a championship. Go for the race. You know, that'll change the whole business of how you run that last race. Ernie Irvan here today has led all but 4 laps. You think he could get close to that? He'll take it. He'll try. He would try for it, but he's not up in the points close enough for a crack at the championship. There you see the car number 7. We just amble back through the field here a bit, and that is Jeff Bodine. He's running 18th at the present time. Again, showing up in colors of his own team, the late Alan Kowicki. A little slide there as he came out.
Yeah, that's why he's back a little bit. Some of the guys are hitting it right. They're not slipping. The rest of them are sliding.
Earnhardt in 2nd spot as we just amble back through the field and show you how they're running. Earnhardt in 2nd spot to Ernie Irvan as we fade back through here. 1st to 2nd's about, what, 2 7/10 seconds. And there you see Mark Martin, and he is 3rd overall in the race. Martin running in 3rd spot, just a bit further back. Remember, we're at lap 192. Got to run more than 300 laps, 334 to make the distance today, so still a lot can happen. Jim Sauter, he was in, he's running about 30 laps down, but he's back out here, so there's only one car that's officially retired with Sauter back on the track. Then comes Ricky Rudd. He's driving the number 5 Tide car in the 8th position, a lap down. Gave it a good stout run up at the beginning of this race and tried to overtake Ernie Irvan. Then in those pit stops got caught, and he's running from a lap down at the present time. Looking further back there, you've got Jeff Gordon in 4th place, our pole sitter, having a very good day. Bobby Labonte's been closing on him in that rookie battle, Neil, but right now it's dramatically the other way. Bobby Labonte's back in 33rd.
It's the first Mellow Yellow 500 he's ever ran. Got quite a run going.
just trails by 6 seconds to the leader right now. Now there you see Rusty Wallace. He is in pit spot in that Pontiac. Roger Penske a moment ago looking on. Not much you can do but wait a bit here. You're in that center part of the race where things have stabilized. You just got to ride it out for a while and get yourself set up for that last 100, last 50 miles. Take a look at the 52 car. Mike Wallace out of St. Louis. Jimmy Means' number, Jimmy Means' car.